Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another week of Light Testing Grounds, the third week to be precise, brought to you by Excellency Esports. My name is Juicebox Guy, and joining me today is my man, Dory K. How you feeling, Dory?
I'm feeling great. A long time no see, Juicebox. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been too long, man, and I'm actually super excited to get reacquainted on this matchup. Today we have Divine Ascension Gold facing off against Dawnbreak Gaming Academy, and I am so excited to see how these teams do today.
Same. I've been hearing some good things around the way about how these teams perform. I personally know Starstro a little bit. I'm excited to see how he does in this situation, but it looks like they're actually getting started with the pro draft already, and we see the Yasuo band coming out.
Yep, it is already the Yasuo band out. Set and Yumi taken away for DBG. York and Morgana answered by DAG. And we're going to see what this final ban is in just a moment. But while we're on the topic of Starstro, I actually do kind of want to get into that jungle matchup early. Hero Complex, the jungler for Dawnbreak Gaming Academy. And I think he's had a little bit of a rough go of it thus far into the, to the testing grounds. So I'm really interested to see how he's going to stand up to a guy like Starstro, like one of these long-time competitive players.
Yeah, absolutely. The jungle matchup is probably something I want to focus on today. Hero Complex is not a bad player in his own right. The guy's incredibly consistent in solo queue, and he just performs really well. But you can see here that the Ashe pick came out first. You can kind of tell that's coming from the Morgana. It's a typical pairing with Caitlyn. So
Ooh.
Ashe pretty much has a favorable matchup nowadays, as long as the Morgana or the Caitlyn get banned. So Ashe is going to be one of those prevalent ADCs, offers a lot of engage. And then it actually being paired against the Mordekaiser. This is a classic. So Mordekaiser's been seeing a lot of play because he can isolate those ADCs and those high priority picks from the enemy comp.
Yeah, and actually, the thing about the Mordekaiser is Invalence, which is the mid laner for Dawnbreak Gaming Academy, is actually the one who's been putting in time on that Mordekaiser. So I'm going to be interested to see. They already brought it out once in the mid lane. Are they going to do that, or is it going to go to White Knight in the top lane? But meanwhile, we do have Misfortune coming through as the answer to the AD carry.
That definitely does make sense. The thing I am a little confused about is the Yumi ban. Maybe it's more of a comfort thing, or it's because they like to pair it with Hecarim. Hecarim is a really strong duo. Oh, that actually is big. Taking the Leona away from the Misfortune combo, that's going to force Misfortune onto something a little less conventional. You're looking at the Thresh. Traditionally, Thresh does win the matchup just by the nature of his Flay being able to counter Leona engage. But in my opinion, that's a little bit of a skill matchup still, just because it does require good timing. It does require good lane positioning, and Misfortune does have a bit of a hard time matching Ashe's range. At the same time, well-placed double-ups may make it a non-factor.
Yeah, I mean, I think me and every other bot laner in the world, we all know how bad it feels when you get chunked for 240 damage off of a level 1 Q from Misfortune. So that's something that everyone has to dread just a little bit. As we are getting into the second round of the bans, Galio and Orianna are taken away for Dawnbreak Gaming. And Sejuani so far has been the answer. So no jungler has come out yet for Dawnbreak Gaming, and I imagine that, yeah, they are going to be trying to pinch Starstro just a little bit. Hecarim was actually the pick that Starstro took in one of their last games, so they already took that Hecarim away. They get rid of the Sejuani, and that leaves the Jarvan as the pick that he goes with.
That definitely makes sense. It's really good at isolating Ashe from the rest of her team. However, I believe that this comp has a lot of lockdown. I think that the Galio Orianna bans are kind of counterproductive to Jarvan, but I am excited to see how it goes still. The composition, I do believe the composition's kind of favor blue side here, but I don't know. We'll see how proactive the Jarvan could be. He's a really strong early ganker. He could do red into an immediate mid lane gank, which is going to be really useful.
Oh, man.
Get a little bit of assist. Is this a real Zed hover?
Yeah, I think it is. And it is the Zed into the Vel'Koz, saving that counter pick for the final round here. And you know what? Invalence, he really wants to put the game on his back for this one.
Yeah, that is an understatement. He is against a Vel'Koz. While Vel'Koz shouldn't have any problems, by the nature of the matchup. There is always that chance that Zed hits level 6 before Shen does, and Zed just murks the Vel'Koz, right? So
Right.
Zed's going to need to be able to play this lane very well. He's going to have to absorb as much of that ranged harass as possible without taking too much damage, and he's going to be looking for proper shadow usage, his W. It's a very long cooldown, and he's very susceptible to ganks if he uses it too early. At the same time, Vel'Koz very, very worried about level 6 all-ins. He's going to be playing around that W max, trying to push that lane as often as possible. I believe that's what you do.
and speaking of being susceptible to ganks, Vel'Koz, I mean, if you don't hit your skill shots, Jarvan and Zed are just going to make your life miserable there in the mid lane. Fortunately, they do have the Shin, so at least, you know, they do have a little bit of an extra shield that'll be coming through, but the burst that's going to come through from Jarvan and Zed is going to be monstrous in this matchup.
Yeah, I really do like, all things considered, I would have liked to see a little bit more team fighting presence on Dawnbreak Gaming Academy's side. However, they do have really, really good side lane pressure. Shen with the global ultimate does make that problematic, however. Hecarim roaming does make that problematic, and the team fighting presence, definitely a big Wombo combo team fight presence coming out of DAG here.
DAG, it seems to have a fairly straightforward game plan here, which is wipe the other team in a team fight. And yeah, that's a very easy strategy to pull off in most cases. You know, you can put the Shin to match the side lane. The 4 other members are going to be trying to fight for objectives or map pressure across other parts of the map. Bring that Shin in. I'm sure he'll have teleport on top of his ultimate, so he'll be able to join in almost any situation. Dawnbreak Gaming has, I would say, a fairly more difficult composition to execute here, and it is really going to be up to them to try to make their side lane pressure, you know, poignant enough to actually dissuade Divine Ascension Gaming from just absolutely rolling over them here.
That's absolutely true. Misfortune as well, while she does offer that press the attack kind of 1v1 pressure, she's able to hit a single target very effectively. She does struggle without her ultimate to actually have DPS presence in a team fight. So Ashe is looking to get that spread damage. We don't know what kind of build she's going to be going for, but I presume she's going to need some survivability here. Probably something that builds out of a stopwatch. But at the same time, Ashe players have been going a variety of different builds lately. They've been going the Borg. They've been going this new tier build. This new tier build. And at the same time, you've got low mobility, but Thresh hits a hook on Leona, and that's a one fight for Ashe Leona. If Thresh hits a hook on Ashe, who knows? It's a lot of burst on the side of DBG, so for all we know, that could actually be really, really favorable towards DAG.
Yeah, that's a matchup that it's going to be essential to keep your eyes on, because that is one of the spots on the map that could absolutely get broken open for either team is going to be that boss side. But I do want to swing my attention to the top side really quick. Divine XZ on this Shin had a phenomenal game earlier in the season, and I want to see if he can do it again, if he can pull it off against White Knight, who, by the way, is actually a new member on the side of Dawnbreak Gaming. So with this new top laner coming in, putting him against a stalwart like Divine on this Shin, that's an exciting matchup, and just as important as that bot lane, I think that will be equally as instrumental to getting the victory here. All right, well, we are going to take a quick moment to walk through all of the rosters that we have here. So, on the side of Divine Ascension Gold, it is Divine XZ, Starstro, Void Alive, Lexar. Rammus is too good in that support position. Meanwhile, swing it over to the red team. Dawnbreak Gaming's roster is White Knight, Hero Complex, Invalence, Jaximus the Pro, and the Real Tomb BSB. Any of those names really sticking out to you?
I do. Tough. I do know Starstro. I've seen Invalence around. I have heard that he's got a pretty good Zed. So, I mean, I think that anything can happen here. Zed is less common in competitive play, but there is a lot of disruption on the side of their comp. So, I mean, Invalence might be able to take that craziness and try to isolate Asher Vel'Koz here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Zed gets a little bit of quiet time with one of these carries, with the solo laner in the mid lane, or this Ashe, while she doesn't have the beefy boys to protect her. Yeah, that could just spell sad news. You know, that would be really, really detrimental. So, yeah, gonna be up to the side of Divine Ascension Gold to protect these squishy carries.
Now, what I'm curious to see once we load into the game is actually what rune did Hecarim go? I know Phase Rush has been more common on him lately, but if he's going to be expecting to go against the Jarvan or the Mordekaiser more often, especially if they're playing to this top side, they're trying to play with Divine, there is still a chance he goes with that Conqueror.
Only time will tell what route this Hecarim does decide to take. But before we giddy up onto the Rift, we are going to throw it to a quick break here. And so stick around, see which one of these squads is going to take the series today. Divine Ascension Gold facing off against Dawnbreak Gaming Academy. And there's only one victor. Best of 3. Let's get her done.
And we're on the Rift. All right, Juice, we're on the Rift. Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Dawnbreak Gaming Academy, facing off against Divine Ascension Gold. Standard starts for both of these squads here, and we do have a disconnect and reconnect, so we're getting all of our marbles in one go here.
Sorry, Star's just firing up his toaster, and then he's here to carry. Let's go. So
yeah,
we were talking about it a little bit before the pause, or not before the pause, the break. Hecarim did decide to opt into the phase rush, and the Misfortune actually did a pretty good tech here. She went for the cleanse, which is basically going to stop the only thing that absolutely matters against these guys. It's going to be the taunt, it's going to be the ash arrow, the crystalline arrow, and it's going to stop the solar flare from Leona.
That was probably one of the most intelligent selections for a summoner spell that I've ever seen in a competitive game here. So I give huge props to Jax in this. And I also give huge props to these junglers, neither dishonoring the tradition of flashing your emotes at one another in the mid lane. So respect there, as Influence is already getting chunked out here in this mid lane.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a game of geometry. Vel'Koz can get excessive poke early on in the lane and keep Zed from doing anything. But you don't know how consistent that's going to be. He's a very skill shot reliant champion.
Yeah, definitely in a lot of those matchups. Early on in the game, you get a ton of damage onto the enemy, and then you feel real good, real confident about yourself, and then you don't hit anything once he gets that shadow. So yeah, definitely going to keep our eye out on that one.
Now, Jarvan didn't opt in for the level 2 gank, red to mid. He can do it. If he doesn't want to reveal his location, if he wants to keep it a secret where he started, perfectly fine too, although I believe the Misfortune and Thresh came straight to lane, so it's probably pretty obvious they know they're mirroring each other's path, but you're looking at a 3-camp clear here for the Jarvan.
Yep, and so the full clear for the Hecarim, the Jarvan going, nothing too crazy actually coming out for either side here on the jungle. It's something interesting to keep an eye out though is Divine Ascension Gold. They have been known to make that early mid gank, and it looks like Starstro might be trying to follow suit there. The shadow is out. That might be a critical mistake as he does engage in on the mid lane. It looks like he'll be fine, but meanwhile on the bottom side, Rammus is too good, is actually going to go down for first blood over to the Misfortune. That countered gank on the bottom side was incredible.
Yeah, that was actually really intelligent. I mean, I would assume that they would know that Jarvan was starting there, but he is actually staying here. Let's see what kind of pressure he can make. What we've got here, actually, in the bot lane is what I like to call the no-no zone. It's this really, really big buildup of minions here, and you've got the Jarvan coming in, but it might be a little bit too early.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't manage to get the flag and drag, but oh, no, hook barely doesn't land there.
That is close, but that's a good start.
Yeah, that is solid right there. I think you're still very happy if you are Hero Complex, but Influence taking a very bad trade here, as we do have the mid laners and the top laner, and then now we have Shin coming down too, and Starstro just picks up Zed. No way to counterplay that, and now White Knight is going to be the next one on the chopping block. Void alive, making things happen here in this top river.
And that's really, really good play around priority. You had your top laner react. First, you had Zed getting caught out of position, but Zed thought he had it, right? He had a huge combo go down onto Void alive, and he didn't even have to use the exhaust. Vel'Koz is still sitting on 2 sums. Zed has no flash, and neither is Hero Complex here. However, we do see
Speaking of Hero Complex, maybe caught out in no-no land, and now he might be the next person on the chopping block. Auto attack should do it, but no, he will take him down as he was trying to escape into his jungle.
That is a huge finisher. Really, really good start for Divine Ascension here.
Yeah, Void alive, feeling good in his lane.
Yeah, and even this bot lane, like, Lexar's taken a bit of damage, but he's already sitting on what I believe is, 800 gold. So Lexar, probably not in a good lane position here to go back for the tier if he wants to go the tier build. If he wants it, he can definitely get it on the next cannon wave. But we're looking at really, really good backs here for the Vel'Koz. Getting that first item, Lost Chapter, is huge. It helps him keep that wave pushed. It helps him retain that mana. But you do have the Thresh here zoning off that wave with Lexar actually getting frozen on here.
It feels really, 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 really bad when you get froze on this far away, and you're already chunked out pretty low because you kept catching those cues from the Misfortune. So now if he wants to get this farm, he risks the full engage. Does have both sums, but the hook lands, the flake connects, forces out the flash immediately, might just get auto attack down, and meanwhile, Hero Complex in the Tribe Rush will maybe be going down to... Well, actually, Lexar decides to pick that one up, says big shout out, Starstro, and then now the engage does continue. Rammus is too good going in on the real Tomb. Tomb is trying to get away, but it will be Starstro picking up a kill for himself now. Hands one to the 80 carry and slides the next one into the wallet.
Ooh, I don't know what was going on there. It looks like Hero Complex might have been focusing on the gank there, but he walked right through Starstro, and there wasn't really much he could do. His best bet was to try and flag and drag out, but it was the right idea here. And Invalid's coming in, getting a little bit of poke damage. He knows he's safe, still has his W. Trying to keep Starstro from trying to take that free early dragon here. So that's pretty good from him, especially since he has lane prio. I really want to see these mid laners being active. Mid jungle duo looks like it's going to make a huge difference here this game. And it's really showing because this Vel'Koz and this Hecarim are working miraculously well together.
The mid jungle synergy has been on point thus far in the game, and I don't actually. I think Void Alive did rotate down to the bottom fight, but I'm not actually sure if he really had. I don't think he got an assist from it, so I think he did end up wasting a lot of time. But you know what? He showed up, and we take those. But meanwhile, on this bot side, now the lane is well in control of Lexar and Rammus. So with that happening here, they should be bouncing back pretty hard in what was looking like a bit of an early deficit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you do see that the CS is a little bit lower, but that was the first back for Jaximus, which means that Lexar is going to get control over this lane. It's a real short lane. It's not a cannon wave, so it's going to reset, and they're going to be able to set up a freeze here. And meanwhile, Thresh actually being proactive, but the vision control, this mid lane, is so good. There's nothing this Thresh can do. This is really, really good control over lane priority. This is good control over vision, and you can kind of see that there's this line of control from the blue team that means you can't enter the river without us seeing you.
Oh man, all right, Thresh hook lands 3 points there as Jaximus is the target. Shin Ultimate's channeling now. Jaximus needs to get out, flashes over the wall. Hero Complex flags and drags away, and Tomb is the man left behind, but Starstro is not done yet. He picks up the J4 and he grabs Jaximus on his way now. Now White Knight is here to try to get the counter kill, picks up the shutdown, which means Dragon may be off the map, but the kills came through.
And that's huge. They're just hanging on by a thread. So DBG here, Dawnbreak need to be able to get control of momentum in the early game here. This Jarvan just kind of falling flat, getting caught in some really awkward positions. The whole bright side here, though, Ganja White Knight. He's doing a fantastic job of making sure that that TP is down, that TP is great. It's able to get the Hecarim out of the game, keep them from getting first dragon. While singular dragons aren't the worst thing in the world, we have an Ashe coming just a bit shy.
Crystal Arrow does land. The double taunt lands as well, and now White Knight is facing off against Lexar with a bunch of his buddies. Starstro is trying to get in here, but knocks Ganja onto his Ashe, causes the kill to go over, but picks up White Knight in return, uses the Hail of Shadows to get away, and now the Vel'Koz ultimate is gigantic. Jaximus is down to almost no health. Good flash to get out of the... In return, the shutdown does follow for J4 onto the Vel'Koz, and now Invalence picks up Hecarim, and this should mean Dragon.
It seems really awkward, but that Life Orb Disintegration Ray, did I say it right? Life Orb Disintegration Ray. So, what's really cool about it is that he pops the ultimate, right? He gets the ticking damage and procs his passive, but when they think they can get engaged...
Oh no, the fight just keeps going! Hero
going forever!
No way! And they are disengaged, they're fine, but you gotta think that that means Dragon is now in the hands of Divine Ascension Gold.
Yeah, absolutely. Hero Complex has decided to hopefully not get... Nope, okay, he lives! Hero Complex smited it. Cool, he didn't pull a Dory. So, he lives. However, he has to get a back timer here. If he decides to stay, he can't contest this dragon. Starstroke can get it started. You see no wards, and you see priority for mid and bot lane. So this is just going to be an easy collapse, easy first dragon. That Ocean Drake, while most Drakes in isolation aren't great, the Ocean Drake is fantastic for that early sustain. Because early sustain in lane gives you so much control of the state of the early game.
Yeah, Ocean Dragon, easily the best early dragon to pick up. But you know what? It's also the best late dragon because that soul is game-breaking. We won't be getting that here. It is Mountain Soul up next on the chopping block. And after the last 4 minutes of straight scrapping in the bottom river, this is really anyone's game right now as to who's going to be able to get objective control and push their vision forward to set up for this next dragon.
The real bright... I wish I could say this is the bright side. Thresh doesn't have access to the box yet. He doesn't have 6 yet. It's great for creating zone control, but it doesn't really do much in terms of real power points for their team. So DBG can actually contest any kind of fight going on here. It's really just raw stats that are the reason why. Oh, we do have a fight going on here.
Oh no, okay, that might be the kill going both ways actually, but Invalence does pick up Void Alive, sorry, and now it is actually the bot lane that's going down on the side of Dawnbreak Gaming. Starsbro answers big.
As an ADC main, that hurts. It hurts to use cleanse and forgetting that it's not heal.
Yeah. As a support main, watching your ADC use cleanse instead of heal and then thinking that you're gonna be okay when you're low feels just as bad.
Did you see that taunt interaction? That was really interesting. So Shen actually tried to taunt out of White Knight's drag. Nothing really came of it, but he taunted out of it and it sort of buffered, it looks like. I don't know if it's a visual bug, but something I'd like to point out is actually Hero Complex doing a good job of counter jungling here. He's going to take away the top side and force Hecarim to go down to the bottom side or try to counter invade. But without priority in either of his soul lanes, he can't go there. Hero Complex is going to be able to accentuate that CS lead and try to make up for that differential, because the Hecarim sitting on Triforce is pretty dangerous for the side of Dawnbreak right now.
He also has the ninja tabbies, and maybe one of the points that we should have brought up but didn't is the only real AP coming through for the side of Dawnbreak Gaming is on the Mordekaiser, and I wouldn't necessarily even consider him to be a AP carry, more of like, I guess, an AP bruiser. Invalence, though, does manage to shadow out, so nothing too scary there. But what I was getting at is that does make it a little bit annoying, or a little bit easier, rather, to itemize on the side of Divine Ascension Gold.
Yeah, when there's not really many options, and when there's, I mean, even Thornmail is a good option here for preventing a lot of the damage that can be done. There are 2 champions, 3 champions even, if you want to get really technical about it, that can itemize well. And there is swing and a miss. Touchdown.
It's good.
Football. Anyways, you got the slow push coming in. Dragon's not coming up for another 2 minutes or so, so the slow push isn't really going to result in much of anything. You'd want to see a cannon wave kind of result in a back here. So it looks like Ashe, only sitting on 600 gold, is probably going to wait for the next one, but Zed going in for the kill here.
Yeah, Void Alive might be in a lot of trouble. May go down. The Shin ultimate saves his life, though, but Invalence comes back. And that was a 750 gold shutdown onto the Hecarim. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, Lexar is taken down. Thresh picks up the kill credit there.
And Dawnbreak Gaming really just clawing back.
Hook lands, and the real tomb does go in. Ram is too good, gets the Cataclysm on top, and that means no way out. Jaximus gets the kill he was looking for.
And they're really saying, early game? What early game? There's no towers down. It's 14 minutes. We're fine. Dawnbreak Gaming really just doing their best to make the best out of a bad situation, and it's paying off for them in dividends right now. They're doing fantastic, and their comp actually has an opportunity now to reach this break point where they can start fighting over neutral objectives again.
Yeah, we actually have a really interesting matchup here, because on the side of a Divine Ascension Gold, as a team, they're working together really well, but as solo individuals on the side of Dawnbreak Gaming, that is where they're getting their lead here, as there's been no real opportunity for Divine Ascension Gold to team up recently. Now you're seeing the game swing back over to the solo dominance that Dawnbreak Gaming is bringing into this.
And take a look at it. Invalence has the most kills of a single player in the game besides Starstro. This Zed is popping off. He's got the CDR boots. He's got the Ghost Blade, or the Ghost Blade. He's just gonna be running like crazy out to the side. The only issue here is vision control has been in Divine Ascension's favor the entire game. It makes it really difficult for Zed to get these flank points, and I think that it's attributed to the fact that the Thresh and the Jarvan still don't have sweepers. The fact that Zed is the only sweeper on their team makes it so difficult for them to set up a play for Zed.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, he has level 11, right? He has that tier 2 ultimate, and that might come in clutch here. Now,
he's a big boy. You see him flanking here.
They do look like they're going for it. Blue team does slay the dragon, but the Hero Complex is in the middle of a lot of enemies. Leona ultimate was huge. Cleanse used to get out. Hero Complex does go down. Jaximus the pro, the next one to die. And Invalence got dropped on the top side. Tomb, the last man standing in the fight. and no way you're getting out of this one, friendo. Join your friends on the gray screen.
And as I talk about them clawing back from the jaws of defeat, they go right back into it. They lose the 4v5. Mordekaiser's not able to come down. He decides to hold on to the teleport, and it's just a lost fight. 5 is a bigger number than 4. And to be completely honest, like outside of that, the fight was huge. Did you see the bullet time get canceled by Solar Flare? That Leona ultimate was on point.
The combination of the Hecarim and the Leona ultimate right there made the difference in that fight. Invalence got picked off on the top side as all of his friends were getting the tar beat out of them in the bottom side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really gonna I hate to keep saying it, but this is on the back of Invalence. He has to get those flanks, but him and his team are just not creating those situations where he can get an effective gank off. He can't get an effective flank off. They need to start playing for vision, and they need to pull that vision back. You have 2 ward stacks available for the Misfortune. Get her out of the lane if it's dangerous, and you have that bot side jungle on the side of Divine Ascension just lighting it up like Christmas. Dawnbreak can't go into their bot side jungle without just being destroyed.
Oh, this might be real bad for Starstro, actually. He's so low. Ignite's ticking, but Invalence does not commit with this Shin ultimate channeled.
Yeah, that's a Stand United wasted, so this is an opportunity. You know Stand United's cooldown. Here comes the Ashe ultimate.
Oh, that might be huge. Flash out of the bullet time, and now Tomb is chunked out. So low. Kill is not able to be grabbed, though, and now Hero Complex might be looking to cover the retreat here. Maybe Lexar is a little bit too deep, but they were on different pages, decide not to go for the engage, and nothing will come of it.
Absolutely. I do want to point out that the Thresh still not really sitting on boots yet. I'm not actually 100% certain what he's building here. Might be a stone plate. But boots would be really effective for him here. He wants some kind of way of creating those flanks along with the Zed. I think that you can actually look for the Thresh to pair up with the Zed here and bring this game back. Play around your win condition. Invalence is playing very well, all things considered, and your top lane is slowly gaining momentum. Once this Mordekaiser has the Liandry's, there's not really a champion that can contest him in a side lane, because the Hecarim's itemization is just so prevalent for team fighting, but he's not going to win a 1v1 with Phase Rush.
Mordekaiser is definitely going to continue to be a menace in this match. He's already doing pretty well for himself in the side lane. Almost has that top tier turret down. First tower did, of course, go over to the side of Divine Ascension, as they do pick up the mid lane outer on top of that. And the next question is, do they focus the top lane tower or go for the Rift Herald?
Honestly, Rift Herald 2 is not the greatest thing in the world. It's one of those things where you get it for free. As I say that, Starstro is taking it, but you have a fight breaking out here.
Yeah, Ram is stuck in the Cataclysm here. Exhaust goes down, and the Disintegration Ray is going huge. Hecarim goes in, and now Jack Smith is already dead in the Shadow Realm with Starsbro. But once you end that, you are done for. Picks up the shutdown. Good job there, but falls down immediately afterwards. And the map is completely in the control of Divine Ascension Gold here.
The answer to your question is secure vision in topside jungle and force them to face check you. Get the tower for free, open up the map. Rift Herald is just something you kind of take on your way to Dragon or Baron at that point. Second Rift Herald, not the most important objective to spend resources on, but at the same time, if you've got free dives on that top tower, it's the last one left. Take it. It's obvious. It's the best way to punish people. In our elo specifically. I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I'll desperately sit under my outer turret when it's far too late, but we're 20 minutes in. We see this next dragon coming up. We're sitting on soul point for Divine Ascension if they get it. So we're looking at Dawnbreak to try to refresh vision, because Divine Ascension has gotten a little lazy about it while they're trying to take this top lane turret. This is their opportunity to create a line of scrimmage and try to turn this game around one more time.
Yeah, you know, Divine Ascension does just, well, hold up. Invalence might be in trouble here. He does get out thus far. Rammus takes a few shots there. Starstro is a little bit worse for wear, but nothing too bad. And Zed gets away with only the ultimate being used. And I guess they ignite.
That's good. I actually don't know the cooldown on Zed ult with that amount of CDR, but it's relatively short. But look, they have control here. They're able to get this dragon.
Oh
Unless
no,
Starstro
this is
makes
the
the
steal. The
conflict.
steal is going to try to come through. It does not. J4 secured the dragon, and now the fight is on. They are standing in the middle of the bullet time. Divine is already down. Starstro is already down. Ash is putting out massive damage, though, and the return damage has arrived. Jaximus, the next man on the block. Hero Complex uses the Cataclysm to save the life of his Zed, but we do have Vel'Koz sniffing in the wings here, trying to catch him out. It looks like he will find him. This might be disaster. No, Invalence is going to be okay, but that is 4 people down to delay the Cloud Soul.
They stopped the dragon stacking, but at what cost? No, really. To be serious, Cloud Drake, really, really scary on Hecarim. However, you're looking at a bunch of dead dudes on the map. That's a lot of vision that you're losing out on. Baron control is Divine's way, so you're looking at creating these choke points and playing around isolating priority targets. It was a very good bullet time from Misfortune. However, the team fight wasn't played in coordination because Dawnbreak had the resources to win this fight, but they burned all their CC and didn't hit any priority targets with it. So that's why you see the Jarvan just kind of taking himself out there at the end.
Oh no. Now we see what happens when Ash is alone in the solo lane. She ultimates the Zeds and runs away like hell.
Get the Jaws theme, here he comes.
All right, return it now as Starstro has arrived, but the Death Mark is going to obliterate Ash. Meanwhile, Invalence will be dying for his transgressions, and that is mid lane for ADC.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to go for it, right?
Right, yeah, you got to get something.
Yeah, if Zed knew he was dead there, like, he had a way to get out, but at that point, just take the fight, get yourself some gold, really irritate Lexar, make him itemize defensively, or he's going to keep going for this kind of stuff. He's got the QSS to deal with Mordekaiser, but if Ash stops itemizing damage, then there's going to be a lull period where, believe it or not, Misfortune with the IE and an Essence Reaver will actually do a little bit more damage.
Yeah, no, that... but on top of that, I mean, there was a 450 gold shutdown on the Ash. So even with the kill trade going over, that is still massively worth it for Invalence to get that kill.
Yeah, I still think this is within their grasp. Like, slowing down this dragon stacking is very, very valuable. You're looking at a dragon cooldown of 2.5 minutes, unless that happens. Okay, that's 2 ultimates burned.
That was 2 ultimates used for a grand total of nothing.
I'm actually happy with that. I would love to see Dawnbreak take advantage of these spell cooldowns because that's what Divine Ascension's playing off of, right? If they press their R buttons, they win.
Man, he has not been able to taunt out of those claws very well, but Invalence actually just caught out. Deathmark does go down, but it's not going to be nearly enough, but Bullet Time might, as, oh my god, he got killed by the Ignite, but the fight's not over yet. Starstro once more, and now Tomb, very low, does drop to the Vel'Koz. Hero Complex trying to make the fight happen now. Shin has entered the fight, Ganja on the top side. Hero Complex and the ADC both get taunted. The cleanse was so late, and she dies. Now White Knight is in a very bad spot in the Shadow Realm, and it's actually him being trapped because of it. Does manage to run away, but the horsey is en route, picks up the kill, giddy up to the gray screen.
And this is why Hecarim is a prominent feature of the meta right now. The dude is so mobile, he's able to do everything on the map at all times, he's really beefy, and, I mean, Onslaught of Shadows, how cool is that? Anyways, you're unstoppable during Onslaught of Shadows. Thresh tried to save the team with the hook, couldn't do it. And that's going to be a Baron on the side of Divine Ascension.
Unless Hero Complex has something to say about it. He is the hero his people need, and actually he's the one they deserve because they go ahead and walk off the Baron.
Yeah, and you're looking at a 680 damage smite versus 760, but Starstro's smite isn't up, so they're going to stop that Baron. They don't want to risk it. That's 680 damage of true damage that's very difficult to match in this composition. There's no like execution to try to compensate for that, right?
Oh, so, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're just going to be looking at a stalemate. It's very, very good of Divine Ascension to call that off. They know that they're in no hurry to grab this. They're just trying to dragon stack, get this lane priority back into these mid and bot lane so they can contest the Drake. However, you have the Mordekaiser pushing again. The dude is 150 CS. He's up 60 CS.
Okay, interesting, Crystal Arrow. We'll see if it amounts to anything. Divine has arrived. The taunt does not land, and with Yomus, he should be home free on this one. But that is that item out for the potential dragon fight, as Void Alive is actually caught out. It is the Zanya's uses to keep himself alive, and the Cataclysm, he is stuck in there, but he's not stuck in there with you. You're stuck in there with him, as he does drop for Hero Complex. No, he's still alive. The fight does continue, and he picks it up with the flag, and now Tomb is caught out. Double kill coming through for the Hecarim. Rammus is too good, is looking for Hero Complex. White Knight looking at Divine and Starstro with hungry eyes, trying to get the cleanse to get out. Well done there, and the Flag and Drag misses. No, you can't miss those, as now the Shin ultimate does channel. White Knight is stuck in a 3v2. Invalence and him, the only two people left alive. No ultimate on Invalence for help, so White Knight is in a lot of trouble here. The Zanya's is used to buy time. Invalence using the Yomus to get in, and it does not work at all. They get the Ignite, but that is it for the Shin.
Live by topside, die by topside. This Shen Hecarim have been so active. As soon as he got Stand United, Divine has just made himself a factor every single fight. He might not have 100 CS at 27 minutes, but by George, he's huge. It doesn't matter. He's sitting on 8,000 gold. He's only 700 down from the Mordekaiser, but he's influenced the map so much more, and that Stand United is going to continue to do that the more CDR he gets in his build.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I said it in draft, you know. Divine is no joke on this Shin pick. He is a monster. I have written in my notes one word: beast, in all capital letters, because he's just an animal on that pick. Meanwhile, the Death's Dance, the Quicksilver Sash, the Trinity Force, and an almost still not completed jungle item for the Hecarim. But that 14-4 and 14, the man is a monster.
That QSS was really smart, in my opinion. And you're looking at a Cinderhulk. Look at that bonus damage, or that bonus health that Hecarim's got. He's level, what, 14? Ooh. That's going to be a bunch of health. That's going to be Trinity Force health. And then I'm assuming he's going to itemize one health stacking item for that Cinderhulk after this. He's already doing a ton of damage just standing inside of your team. He's already got a QSS, so Mordekaiser can't isolate him. He just proved it in that last fight. And he's got a Death's Dance, so he's got survivability for days. This Hecarim is a monster, and I don't know how Dawnbreak Gaming is supposed to deal with it.
Well, they're going to have to come up with something pretty quick. They do have Rammus too good hooked, but that doesn't really amount to anything other than about 100 damage. But Baron's going to give him a little kiss on the way out.
Let's see. What can Zed do here? That's a good taunt coming out from Divine, avoiding the pull from Ganja.
Yeah, manages to get out of that one. And it doesn't look like either one of these teams really want to pull the trigger on trying to go for a Baron or a big team fight until these dragons are spawning. So if you're Zed and you're trying to look for things to do, I can tell you don't stand in the mid lane with your bottom duo. You probably need to get yourself over to one of these side lanes and try to get on split pushing duty alongside the Mordekaiser. And you don't have teleport, so you want to be on the side of the map that you expect the fight to break out. So there's no dragon. Get to the top side.
Yeah, and it's a big draft problem we kind of pointed out in loading screen. You've got Shen, who kind of stifles the impact of the composition that Dawnbreak has gone for. If I was drafting, I personally would have just gotten rid of the Shen, because it's the ultimate way to just get rid of anything. If you're going for this kind of pick composition, you basically want to take...
Hold on, Lexgar actually on the chopping block. Death Mark is on him. Meanwhile, Crystal Arrow is huge. Again, the Solar Flare will follow. Now, Real Tomb is going to be the next man potentially going down. Jackson has the two big beefy boys on top of him. Shin's trying to grab him. Cataclysm to keep him alive. And now White Knight fighting Void alive in the Shadow Realm. Oh my god, the Zanya's was beautiful. Rammus goes under the tower, is all alone without friends, but she's got her toy horsey to come in and keep her company. Hero Complex can do nothing but really watch him as he glides on by, and that should be Baron.
Do you like how easily Phase Rush gets proc for Hecarim? I like how easy Phase Rush gets proc for Hecarim. And that's going to be a free Drake.
I need to pick up Hecarim again, honestly. But yeah, Baron is just gonna go over so easy peasy. They are gonna have it up when this dragon spawns, and that means these lanes are gonna be shoved out by the time that dragon spawns. That means that it's essentially a free Cloud Drake that's about to come through. And Hero Complex face checks into Void alive. The fight is on. And Void alive picks him up with a sliver of health to keep alive. Invalence is looking for vengeance, doesn't quite get it.
I feel so bad for Invalence. This team, the issue is Dawnbreak. Maybe they had early game jitters, maybe they had stream jitters, but they had a rough early game, and they've started having like a resemblance of something that would be a good team fight, right? Misfortune's getting decent bullet times, but it's just not doing enough damage. It's too late in the game. Zed getting fantastic flanks off, but just the team is too far behind. Their vision control is improving. They had vision control of the topside jungle there, but the game's too far away from them, and they really just need to play for numbers advantages. They have to look for somebody on blue side to be isolated, and they need to play around the Stand United cooldown, or else they're just going to lose every fight going forward.
Yeah, right, but think about what you just said. Divine Ascension Gold, more than the sum of their parts, they move around the map as a unit so well. And if your win condition is looking for the numbers advantage, you're going to have a hard time finding it. As I say that, Leona, stuck in the 1v5, does manage to walk away. And Jackson is maybe in trouble here. Starstro takes matters into his own hands, uses the ultimate to just try to get away, but that means he's going to go down. Ram is too good, gets the Shin ultimate. That's not who you wanted on Lexar. In a Cataclysm alone with Complex. It might be the kill traded back, but it is not. Flashes away. Now Leona stuck in the Shadow Realm, and as I say it, they get the freaking numbers advantage. And Hook does land onto the Shin, and Divine is going to be the next one to go down here. Tries to get Jaximus. It's not enough in the Cloud Soul. All the Barons are thrown to the wayside. Void alive, the only man left, and you cannot get caught. You are the only Baron left, so you have to leave. I don't want to talk.
Dawnbreak Gaming is listening to my mic.
Are you serious? Like, I literally just said it in the second I bring it up. I'm like, Define Ascension Gold, so good. Why?
Yeah, that's it. All they have to do is look for a catch. They have to look for the numbers advantage. And Starstro is just like, hey guys, you guys want to kill?
You know, I'm not even in the game and I'm tilted. But okay, whatever. So,
but it's still in their favor. Okay,
right.
Divine Ascension, they don't have to sweat too much. Starstro just has to play front to back. He's been very, very fed, and that's very, very good for him. However, the tankiness of their front line of Dawnbreak is finally getting there. You've got the Baron push going out. Void Alive still has the Baron. That's very nice for them. They have priority in mid and top. However, you have no objectives coming up.
They're doing what they do best, moving around as a team. Shin teleport is ready. Ultimate is not. Invalence might be picked out here. The ultimate is on. The disintegration rate, and Deathmark goes on to Lexar. The Solar Flare was perfect to keep his AD carry alive, but the bullet time does now come out. Hero Complex pops the Gargoyle to keep himself very healthy in this fight, and now Divine might be the next man dropping. He does. That's a 3-for-1. They still have their Baron, but it does look like it just expired. So that was a massive win for Dawnbreak Gaming.
What is this game, Juice? They don't want to give up. This is... All
right. I'm going to take a second to collect myself. You walk me through that last fight.
Can I break down what just happened? Okay. So... it finally paid off. So this is what happened not 5 minutes ago, right before the Baron, right? You have this catch, this really great catch, and Thresh throwing a hook just like that. You have a random hook, hits, they get very lucky, they have vision control of their top side, and they're waiting for Divine Ascension to overextend. They make this catch, and they use not Hecarim, but Mordekaiser to use the Death Realm to isolate a high priority target, and they're able to just break down the entire team fight. So the team fight benefited from Misfortune being isolated, not being jumped on, being able to get a full channel bullet time, and then Jarvan surviving a fight. Jarvan surviving a fight is a lot bigger than it seems. This guy has the smite, this guy has the zone control, the cataclysm. There aren't any abilities on the carries to get out of a cataclysm. So if Jarvan lays it down, they're isolated. It's over.
All right. Well, for this upcoming team fight, they do have their flashes, so at least there will be that to get out. I'm not sure if it was up for the last team fight, but they are certainly up for this one. And with that heal about ready for Ash, if they're gonna rest, get control of this game again, they're really gonna have to perform in the next minute or two here, trying to get this Cloud Soul because you know what, Hecarim really good with Cloud Soul. Zed is freaking amazing with Cloud Soul. So I really think it's important that they play the game smart, play it slow, look for a pick like on White Knight right here. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does come out. Zanya's to buy time, but nobody's near him. So it will just be White Knight dropping. He's going to put him in the Shadow Realm to buy even more time, but their teammates are so far away, so he can do nothing but sit there like a bunch of leopards on an elephant and just slowly get dragged down. And now Starstro's actually looking. We'll see if he decides to commit the ultimate. He does not. So they will just take the bottom.
Right, this is a fight we don't want to commit for. The vision control here for Dawnbreak Gaming, not very good. However, there's some vital spots where there's vision. Zed still has ultimate. There's no Enchanted Crystal Arrow. And Shen got poked down to under half HP. So they're just going to back out, take that tower, and win with that. This is a good reset here, but Jarvan gets the flag and drag, and it leads to nothing. Okay.
Yeah, it's a delay though, and that is one of the ways that Dawnbreak has been getting back into this game. Is the Divine Ascension Gold is so late getting to these dragons.
Oh no!
It makes it so difficult to contest it because all your vision gets cleared out, right?
Poor Misfortune's saying, "Please help clear the sword. Help!" There we go. Got it.
Oh, I don't know if it worked.
Oh, we didn't get it.
The sweeper ran out.
All right, so that means we do have 1 point of contact where we know there's vision coming in for Dawnbreak, right? So they're going to see Dawnbreak wherever they come in here. But really nice point here. They have that line of scrimmage I've been telling them to get this whole time. Their vision control has improved since early game, and this is what they need. They need to play around this Mordekaiser teleport. They need to play around these flanks with Zed. Zed needs to get off to the side because playing front to back means nothing for him. Down comes the TP for the Mordekaiser, and the fight's about to break out.
Yeah, fight breaks out as Hero Complex uses his EQ combo to get over the wall. No poke quite landing yet. Staring at each other from across the land, and this means that Dragon is started already below half. Void Alive might be the target here as a lot of damage does go onto him, but he uses the Zanyas perfectly. And this is disaster for Dawnbreak Gaming as all of their members get chunked out so low. Rune and Hurricane Ash allowed the free fire. And she just did so much work that fight. Everything coming together perfectly. And White Knight, the last man to drop, and that could be game.
That's looking like game to me. That soul was a massive win condition for the side of Divine Ascension. Yes, they've had a lead, but this is that nail in the coffin. They should not lose any more fights. Anything can happen, but this is looking like a solid secure of at least mid inhibitor, if not momentum for Baron, if not the end of the game.
Mid inhibitor does drop, and they are going to keep the push going, so they might look for these Nexus turrets here. One is definitely going to drop, and these death timers are too long, so this actually might just be the game. Thresh, you're not going to do anything here. Go chill in your fountain, buddy, as the dropping. Nothing they can do but watch everything fall to rubble. Game 1, going the way of Divine Ascension Gold. Beautiful first game coming out.
Yeah, it's looking beautiful. We had a brilliant show from our mid-jungle duo here. Bot lane showing that farming and pressing R is a viable strategy from the bot lane right now. Ashe, very good positioning in the team fights. That QSS was clutch. He had a stopwatch in case the Zed tried to get into another fight. Death Dance gives so much sustain in team fights. Just very good positioning, minus a couple blurbs in the top side jungle of Dawnbreak. But other than that, relatively solid win, and I think that Divine Ascension did a fantastic job of taking this one.
Divine Ascension really, they had a great early game. Their mid game was solid, but transitioning from that mid to late is where things started to fall apart just a little bit for them, and things started to get pretty sketchy. But you know what? They looked at their past success, they got right back to the working formula, they executed it. And that is how they came away with the victory. When you have that many forms of Peel and CC on your team combined, Zed, even with the Edge of Night, you're not going to be able to get onto these carries unless they're alone. So excellent play coming through. QSS is on the middle three members for the side of Divine Ascension Gold. And really just, yeah, well done getting back to the formula that you know works.
That's absolutely correct. And you're looking at how this broke down. How did this get so out of control? It was such a fantastic early game from Starstro and Void. They managed to take control of the lane. They used that priority, like I said, before level 6 to create plays in the river and put Invalence and Hero Complex on the back heel. Hero Complex looked very uncomfortable that fight. He looked like he was having difficulty figuring out where he wanted to be and what he wanted to do, and his overdependence on forcing ganks bot lane made it difficult for him to create momentum in any way.
Absolutely. So, if you are the side of Dawnbreak Gaming Academy, what is the plan? What are you looking to change?
I think Dawnbreak Gaming needs a little bit more cohesion in their team composition. They need to have a clearly defined win condition, and they need a way to achieve that win condition. So they need to go back to the drawing board, in my opinion, take a look at their draft, and figure out what do we want to do, and what can they pick that's going to stop that. Because it seemed like Divine Ascension's comp was just made to stop Invalence and from White Knight from doing anything.
Yeah, all right. Well, we're going to give them a chance to look at said drawing board. But in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and throw it to a quick broadcast before a break before we get into our second game of this series. Will it be the last game, or do we have a game series on our hands? Stick around and find out. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game 2 of the day. We have Divine Ascension Gold coming off of a big victory over Dawnbreak Gaming Academy and their next opponent of the day, SE God Squad.
Yeah, it's looking real good. This is going to be a bit of a more difficult test for Divine Ascension this time. They managed to utilize their early game in game 1 and finish the game in a relatively clean fashion. I'm looking for them to draft very similarly. This AoE, this very team fight heavy composition, it seems to be what they know how to play. But at the same time, they're against a much more stacked roster. This C9 world champ guy's been around the block. The top laner for GE here.
Yeah, Divine definitely has his work cut out for him in this match. Maybe a slightly more difficult matchup this time around. C9 World Champ, one of those players that a lot of people in the amateur scene are fairly familiar with. But it is going to be Caitlyn, Trundle, and Ornn banned away for the side of Divine Ascension Gold. And the God Squad is taking Hecarim and Yuumi off the map. Both champions that are highly annoying and both pretty solid bans thus far. We'll see what their third ban is in just a second.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm wondering if this is 2 games in a row where they've gotten rid of parts of the Caitlyn combination. I'm wondering if it just means Lexar is not comfortable with it or if the team doesn't play around it, but I suspect there's going to be another Ashe first pick here. This is pretty much what they did the last game, except last game they banned the Morgana portion of it. They're probably just isolate banning Truz's champion pool at this point. Oh, they're going for the Shen first. That's still a powerful pick. A lot easier to counter now, so we'll see what C9 World Champ puts into it. But unless they change it now, that's a Shen.
Yeah, but I still really like that pick. I think Divine is so good on this Shen pick. It is the Ashe Zyra coming through for the God Squad, though.
Well, that's difficult. I mean, DAG, they banned Caitlyn and didn't first pick Ashe, and that's kind of a bit of a folly right now in the competitive meta. This Caitlyn versus Ashe matchup, unless they have something planned against this Ashe Zyra, it's going to be difficult. That is one of the most powerful traditional lanes, and it's been for years. It's been since the whole C9 sneaky plus Lemonation, let's do this LCS demolishing of the Ashe Zyra combo. And Leona, while Leona can Zenith Blade through Zyra's plants, it still doesn't bode well. It's double range versus Leona. That's a ton of poke. But the Ezreal looking to be safe, so maybe the Leona's looking to make some rotational plays. Maybe they're looking to do some stuff at level 6 with Shen. But that is kind of self-counter pick here. We'll see how they think.
I don't like that Leona pick at all. I mean, in lane, it's functionally useless outside of like a really good gank coming in, but we'll see. Maybe, you know what? Maybe Rammus is too good, has a few tricks up his sleeve. It is the Maokai that is going to be answering that Shin in the top lane, and that is a thick matchup right there.
Yeah, and it kind of it isolates the Shen, right? It makes it's not so much that the lane is going to be abusive in any way, shape, or form. Like, it's going to be a boring lane. Shen probably can just get priority with his double priority attaining items, the Bomby Cinder if he wants. He doesn't even have to itemize Bomby Cinder here. Just get the Tiamat and push and push and push. And Maokai is real short on mana, is going to have a bit of a hard time here. But looking at the bans, really smart of them to try to get rid of these long-range hyperscaling mages. The mid laner for GE does play them. Orianna and Victor, good prospects, good team fighting champs, good zone control, good AoE. Fit with the Ashe Zyra pretty well, and the Maokai, they make it a lot easier for him. But now you actually have 2 junglers and 2 mid laners that need to locked in, and you have the Graves.
Yeah, I gotta think both these junglers are gonna get pushed pretty far back into their champion pools at the moment. Graves is going to be the lock-in for Laughing Sky of the God Squad, and I'm really curious to see if Starstro has any other answers other than the Hecarim. Hecarim has been the champion he's played the most so far, and he's looked amazing on it. Now it's time to see if he has any other junglers as pocket picks, and Kindred is going to be the selection along with the Galio, which makes me think I don't see a lick of AP damage other than Galio and Leona that really is going to have a big effect on this game.
Don't underestimate it. However, the Renekton. That's a Renekton mid. That's a good idea. Unless they're just trolling. I mean, Renekton mid gonna do real well into Galio. Kind of mitigates a lot of the effect of the Galio mid pick. So I can definitely see the Kindred. So the Leona pick was kind of troll, but I can actually see it now when paired with the Kindred. It's this complete dismantling of the engage of the zone control that God Squad is trying to create. Now bear with me. They layer a bunch of CC. They have a ton of AoE going down. They have an Ashe initiation. Kindred just presses R and stalls. As Shen ults onto the Galio, Galio comes in, and you have this counter engage with a ton of damage. Ashe and Zyra are very slow, and they have a very short range team composition after the Ashe and Zyra's cooldowns are blown. So Ashe's auto attacks are going to be all you have, but you have Shen and Leona mobility. You have Galio's full combo, and Kindred and Ezreal are going to be able to put down some pretty consistent. Well, Ezreal not so much until late game, but Kindred able to put down some consistent DPS. So we're going to be looking at, can Kindred effectively counter jungle a Graves? Can Kindred properly read the pathing of Graves and properly get their stacks? Around 4 stacks, Kindred becomes a champion. Around 7, Kindred becomes a very good champion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and there is a lot of global pressure coming through for the side of Divine Ascension Gold. With the Shin, with the Galio, if you make a play onto the bot side of the map as the God Squad, you have a whole lot of hurt coming your way. And that's without even the Kindred being in the area. So it's going to be really curious to see what the God Squad comes in as their primary plan to start this game off. Do they try to focus the mid lane or the top lane? I'm not sure. Renekton, of course, will have a pretty solid matchup into the Galio, but it's not like a free matchup per se. You know, the Galio's not hopeless. He's never really going to have much kill threat on the Renekton without the help of the Kindred or maybe a roaming Leona / Shin. But you know, I definitely do think he's on the lower end of the win rate in that matchup. Meanwhile, on the top side, Maokai into Shin. Shin just has his taunt just gets him out of so much trouble. You know, he has answers to getting ganked. So, and Graves, trying to gank a Shin as Graves is just straight up obnoxious.
I am just a little bit worried here. The only thing is, as a jungler, I'm playing this Kindred, and I only see... Oh. Well, actually, it looks like the draft stopped. So, in the meantime, why don't we introduce the teams again?
Yeah, let's do it. So, for Divine Ascension Gold, it is going to be the same squad coming through. Divine in the top lane, Starstro coming through in the jungle, Void alive, returning in the mid lane, Lexar and Rammus is too good as that bottom duo. Meanwhile, over at the God Squad, C9 World Champ, top laner. Laughing Sky is the jungler, K-Mantic, one of the coolest names I've ever had the pleasure of saying on stream. Coming through in the mid lane, Truz is the AD carry with Angelic Baby, the most charming name I've ever heard coming through as that support.
It's looking great. We do see the same team from game 1 playing on the blue side. They are accustomed to this side. A player has left the queue, though. No. Anyways. There I go, looking at the stream. Anyways, Laughing Sky's gonna have a heyday. So what I was getting at before they had to dodge and remake the draft was that Graves is gonna know exactly where Starstro's going. Laughing Sky is gonna have no problem tracking because the only reliably gankable lane is top lane.
Right.
You have to pair with the Shen to get anything accomplished this game. If Kindred wants free stacks, that's where you're going. So if they want to abuse the Maokai, that's great. It's a great gank lane. Maokai is really immobile, highly dependent on mana early game. That's why some years back you used to rush 4 Doran's rings to maximize sustaining the lane. That doesn't work anymore.
The good old days.
That doesn't work anymore. So Starstro can't really go mid. Starstro can't really go bot. So all Laughing Sky has to do is mirror the exact same path of Starstro and Laughing Sky shows up top and wins the 2v2. That's easier said than done. Shen's W is incredibly powerful against Graves, but the amount of lockdown you get from a Maokai gives you plenty of time to wait for that cooldown. So I think it's a tough position for Divine Ascension to be in, and I think Starstro's going to have a difficult time early game, but I think if they can batten down the hatches and hold on until 2 or 3 items, there's a chance they can start fighting back.
Yeah, Divine Ascension definitely going to be playing the waiting game on this one, trying to scale up, getting their Ezreal and Kindred to where they need them to be. And speaking of Kindred, I do really want to try to see the rest of Divine Ascension walking with her to trying to get those stacks. Oftentimes, when you have a Kindred in a game, they won't get many stacks because it's basically they're just kind of left on to their own devices to try to walk into the enemy jungler and the jungle and pick it up, pick up wherever those stacks are, and that is very dangerous to do at really any level of play. So I think it's going to be up to this Leona and the Shin and the Galio to keep an eye out on this Kindred to really help facilitate her getting to that very dominant 7 stack mark. So yeah, and I think there's a lot of answers to that coming through for the God Squad at the same time. Maokai just has to kind of go and follow wherever the Graves is when those invades are coming up. Obviously, both teams are going to know where those marks are. Zyra is one of the heavier punching supports in the game. So, I mean, of course, she's not the Vel'Koz of the brand, but I mean, she still comes through with a lot of damage, and I just don't see this Galio ever really getting the push off in the mid lane against the Renekton to help get Prio in that lane, to help the Galio roam over. So if he is going to be ulting in to protect the Kindred, he's probably going to be doing it from his tower and taking or losing a lot of CS for those sorts of plays. So yeah, definitely super curious to see how this one plays out. As far as late game scaling goes, you have to give it to Divine Ascension, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. They do have the scaling. You just really have to worry, right? You have just this really explosive composition. When you're playing around this Renekton, and the fact that Renekton got this far down the draft and got this good of a composition for him to play around, him and Graves have set up for days in both side lanes. This is going to be incredibly difficult for anyone to avoid. Rammus is too good, while Lexar has the Ezreal, he's safe. Rammus is too good is a sitting duck.
Yeah, a challenging matchup indeed coming through for Divine Ascension Gold, but don't count them out. They already picked up a victory today. They are going to be looking to see if they can bring that to 2-0 on the day. Meanwhile, the God Squad making their appearance for the night in this matchup. Divine Ascension Gold, the God Squad. Who is going to take this game? We are going to throw it to a quick broadcast break, and in just a few moments we will be on the Rift, bringing you this electric action that I am so excited to get into. Welcome, everybody, to the second game of the Testing Light series, and I am super hyped to get into this one. Divine Ascension Gold coming back after a very solid first game of the day, and it is the God Squad now the next challenge for them to try to get through. It is nothing too crazy to start here. Standard starts coming out for both of these squads, so they are just making sure that no early shenaniganry gets underway. Cole starts are going to come out for both of these 80 carries, so I'll be super curious to see how that does play out. Ezreal is going to be one of the better Cole starters, since, I mean, you're not really looking to get early kills anyway on Ezreal. You more just play it as the please don't hurt me style of play. Ashe with the Cole start. I see that one go either way, but Cole start, of course, going into the Ezreal, where it's a bit of a pain in the neck, going into that please don't hurt me play style. Cole works for her as well. So, the jungler of Laughing Sky did something I love to see. He places his early ward, recalls, and gets the sweeper. There is so much value if you use that properly. Meanwhile, both of these junglers are going to start off on the top side of the map here, and that could lead to some potential fireworks on the bottom side of the map, depending on what sort of clears these two junglers do indeed go for. As we're getting into this, lanes are, of course, neutral. Nothing crazy quite yet. I always love the early shenanigans in these games. And with these compositions, both of them are looking for at least a little bit of scaling that is going to come out for either side. So, yeah, we don't quite see any of the early fights that we were kind of getting in the last game. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, because I'm doing what I love, casting some League of Legends. So now we actually have a super early invade on the top side. Graves looking for the Grump, not going to find it. Maybe he'll get the Wolves, though. And on the top side, World Champ takes a few to the chin here.
That was intelligent from the Kindred, actually, going for the blue buff start here. Voids the Graves. Most people who play jungle know Graves loves to just do his red buff and then beat you up at level 2. But Kindred getting the counter gank here to start out.
Red buff is doing massive work, and Truz might be down early. The Mystic shot over the wall secured the kill. Big early kill coming through for Ezreal.
My name is Cull Ezreal, and I already have a kill. This is great for them, but Starstro actually going to hit Laughing Sky in the river here.
Yeah, Laughing Sky going to take just a little bit of punishment there. But you know what? He's walking through. I think he's just going to go for the top scuttle, though.
Yeah, that's a good bet. We're about to see them spawn. Let's see. Where is the Kindred mark going to spawn?
Without Prio under that bottom lane, this is a bold strategy coming out for the Graves. Okay, it does not look. So he's just going to go for his blue. Okay.
Yeah,
I was wondering.
Graves is in a tough situation. Graves can't really 1v1 the Kindred in the state of the game right now. That's pretty impressive from the Kindred. Good pathing decisions.
Yeah, Starstro really putting on the old carry pants for this one. And definitely having a very solid impact early on into the game. And just look at the river right now for the side of Divine Ascension. That thing is lit up like Christmas. And Kindred even gets the stack. Stack number 1 completed, does get it for that top scuttle. So this situation is honestly just going from bad to worse for the Graves. It could be the mid lane now, though. Taunt does land, and K-Mantic's very low. Is he going to get the kill here? He flashes forward. He does kill under the tower. It is going to be traded back, but that is huge for the Kindred.
Yeah. It's definitely good work for the Kindred, getting that early game start. Laughing Sky, going to get spotted here on the bot side ward, but you have priority in the teleport coming down. Priority in the bot lane teleport coming down from the mid lane, and Graves is going to be able to just kind of accentuate that farm lead, but Graves hasn't gotten it back yet. So Kindred is going to be able to catch up, stay even on CS, and Kindred has 2 kill participation already. And don't forget, Kindred's already sitting on that first stack. Only 3 more to go, and Kindred gets to be the same range as most ADCs.
Yeah, actually, what I'm kind of wondering is I feel like she might have actually gotten the stack from the, well, hold up. Angelic Baby is actually caught out. Massive damage from the WQ of the Ezreal, and he might be in big trouble. The kill does come through, but K-Mantic has arrived. Exhaust is on, keeping Lexar alive for a little bit longer. The taunt on 3 is massive. Laughing Sky, very, very low. He has a little bit of health left, but he does drop as well. Teleports are being channeled. Truz is very low. And now K-Mantic is going to drop as well. Maokai has arrived, but he has 0 mana. However, there's no damage left on the side of Ascension Gold. He's looking for the play on Void alive, though. Truz is so low, but he manages to pick up the kill there. And that was a win for the side of the God Squad. Everybody coming down to the bot lane party there, and God Squad do come out on top, but this, the Divine Ascension Gold, they are pushing this game pace, and that is going to help them get to the later stages of this game a lot quicker here. The coal stacking does continue. Exciting stuff on the bottom side of the map, as it is now the Ocean Dragon that is going to be, or it has already spawned, rather, and Divine is going to have his ultimate available. C9 World Champ does not have an option here for getting down other than lumbering his wooden butt all the way down over to the dragon. So, yeah, that could end up in some fireworks, and I think if you are the side of the Divine Ascension Gold, you do want to try to get your hands on that dragon. World Champ taking a bit of a pummeling here in the top side, not having the better side of this matchup. No, the wave is not in a very good spot to freeze it. It is a bit of a gank in the mid lane, but Void alive, able to get out of that one. Trades back a little bit of damage, and Kindred has arrived. Does not have the Lamb's Respite available quite yet, but that will be ready sooner rather than later, as both squads are kind of starting to jockey for position around this Ocean Dragon. So yeah, we'll definitely see which one of these squads is able to pick it up first. Ocean Dragon, one of the most valuable, if not the most valuable dragon to pick up early in the game here, and a bot lane prio does go over to the side of the God Squad.
Yeah, and it's swinging back and forth, but Kindred's about to get caught here in the middle of the river. Unless Kindred can walk away. You're still walking back in, sir? You do have backup from the Galio. It looks like they want to make a play with Galio here.
Uh-oh. Oh my god, I cannot believe Leona didn't get the engage there. It looked like it hit, but hitboxes be damned that Truz gets away.
Man, if he was playing Rammus.
Yep, Rammus probably would have.
Jokes aside, this is actually good. So Maokai can't do much damage to the turret this early in the game, and even if he does, it's only going to be a couple plates. He's not going to be able to execute the turret, so Shen has plenty of time to get back up. That Stand United was a little bit early. It would have been awesome if they got a bunch of kills out of it, but that early Ocean Drake, like you said, is massive. And it looks like even though they're down about 1,500 gold or so, that Divine Ascension's actually in a good spot here.
Both of these 80 carries flashing all the mastery, as take a look here. K-Mantic and Laughing Sky trying to get on the red buff here for the Kindred, and if she walks around the corner, she's definitely going to get caught out there. We might have a bit of a pick in the tri-brush. It does not happen, and she is in a terrible spot, already down so low. It is the Galio ulti coming in, and looks like we might have another team fight really early on. The barrage does a lot of damage, but it's not nearly enough. Void alive, left out to dry there, and picked off in the jungle.
And that was some intelligent play. They managed to utilize that priority, understand that while the dragon was secured, Kindred was walking all over vision and that red buff was up. So good wherewithal of God Squad to know, hey, there's no Shen ultimate. He has to get back to lane, so we can go for this play here.
Yeah, and as I was kind of saying in Champions Draft, the mark is now on the Raptors. How hard is it going to be for Starstro to actually go and pick that up with K-Mantic really having his way on the middle side? But speaking of the top side, actually, he uses that taunt like I said he would and skips on out of danger.
Yep. Divine, not really going to be in much danger, but he's also not really going to be able to flex that gank muscle without Starstro showing up. But Star,
Oh no.
sitting about 15 CS down, already getting invaded. Laughing Sky knows that even though Star's been influencing the map,
Yeah, oh,
Laughing
never
Sky
mind.
is strong.
Laughing Sky is evaporated from the map. C9 World Champ running away for dear life. And now with Laughing Sky out of the picture, it should be a relatively easy mark pickup here. But Kindred is going to go back into her jungle as K-Mantic is still a very scary threat. A little bit of damage on the Void Alive. I don't think this is going to result in anything. But, you know, it keeps Void Alive in his place.
You know, I should stop eating my words. Kindred's doing great. They're utilizing their numbers incredibly well. And Divine's getting some good trades onto C9 World Champ. C9 World Champ, he has a CS lead, but on Maokai, like, how useful is that CS lead going to be when you've got this bot lane just rolling, 20 CS up? Mid lane, losing to Renekton, but not nearly as badly as you would think.
Yeah, Lexar actually takes a pretty big hit right there. Doesn't go down, but that's definitely gonna make it difficult for him to stay in lane as he doesn't have much health. Takes the volley, and the mana's pretty low as well. But Starstro is here. A Solar Flare lands though, and now this is gonna be Zyra dropping. Angelic Baby drops, and now Kindred is off to the freaking races, 4-2.
How many stacks is Kindred sitting on here? It looks like 2, so it's still early. Like, Kindred is this fed and still capable of getting even bigger. Now, Kindred went for the Warrior. Pretty common. I don't see many Blood Razor Kindreds anymore. But that does mean into this composition, see the Longsword coming out. It's probably going to be a Black Cleaver. Going to be relatively strong for getting the Ezreal going. That Armor Shred's going to be really useful for Ezreal to get his damage off, because Ezreal's not crit scaling, so obviously his autos are not going to do as much raw damage. It's going to be AD scaling, so his mid game's going to be really strong. Utilizing that Black Cleaver from the Kindred, you're going to have 2 relatively strong AD threats. Even if they itemize armor here, it's going to be like I said, 2 threats. Galio bringing the AP threat. Galio's not doing the greatest right now. He's sitting on a pretty awkward build, but if Galio can get some resources, they can really get him rolling. What I'm a little concerned about here is we're about to hit 13 minutes. We're 12 and a half minutes into the game. We don't see any towers down, but we see 9 tower plates for God Squad. So yes, it seems like they're even in kills, and they're behind 1 Drake, but they're putting so much gold on the map by pressuring these towers, and they have so much threat right now that this Maokai with the teleport and this dragon about to come up is just a ticking time bomb.
All right, teleport actually does get channeled to the bottom side for the Renekton. They want this fight in the jungle, and Rammus
Take a look at that fight coming in.
So low. They do have the Maokai teleport coming in, as well as the Shen ultimate. Lamster Spike's doing a massive amount of work. Truce is taken low. Gallia ulti now landing, and that is Laughing Sky, the first casualty of the fight, but the fight does continue. Lexar actually ease in, flashes out, and that was a critical mistake as he put himself right in the middle of harm's way. That is a 4-for-1 actually. And now Starstro looking at this dragon tick, actually getting chunked out really, really low. So has to just abandon ship there as his entire team is left in tombs.
What do you even do here at this point? Like, how do you take that fight? Like, we actually called it, right? So we see that the Maokai teleports up. We see priority in both solo lanes. We have those towers being pressured, and the Shen doesn't want to really leave his lane. But they lose the towers anyways. They lose the dragons. They get double teleported on. And that was such a good play from the solo laners of God Squad.
Yeah, God Squad's really, really showing their composition right there. Showing all the strengths that they have to their disposal, using every tool perfectly. And the collapse was incredible. They knew the dragon was up, and they brought the teleport in for the Renekton before any dragon fight started, which just left left the side of Ascension Gold with their hand in the cookie jar, and they definitely got punished for it.
Yeah, and I did make a comment about C9 World Champs lead not mattering as much. It matters a lot more now.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. 40
Sunfire.
That's brutal.
He's been left alone, Divine, and we have a dive coming in. Let's just take a look at that. We had the flash and taunt away, but Renekton's still going to chase it down.
Yeah, the Bork was activated to get the slow off. Divine does manage to get away with the flash and taunt, but that is 2 towers. The upper side of the map for Ascension Gold's looking pretty naked right now.
All right. Sorry for the little delay in my casting, everybody. We're good. I've fixed the problem that was causing it. Anyways, look at this topside jungle. Laughing Sky really choking this farm out, and he's got a 30 CS lead, and they're able to just execute these dives now for free.
Yeah, I think Divine's not going to be able to taunt his way out of this one. K-Mantic walks in, but actually he's turning it. This might be the kill traded back. He gets out with a little bit of health, and that was a really good dive.
Absolutely. And this Ashe Zyra lane showing why Ashe Zyra is a really good lane. Ashe sitting on the Bork finally. Leona still hasn't finished an item. It looks like she's going for Locket. I believe that's a Locket. But Zyra sitting on what is almost a completed Liandry's Torment. But that Haunting Guy's alone, if you have 0 MR on your Ezreal, that's pretty much damn near true damage. The only thing I'm not a huge fan of is not buying boots when you... and it's about to show.
Yeah, no way to really walk out of this one. Angelic Baby certainly gonna be the first casualty here. Already drops, and with the Shin ultimate channeling and coming through, Trues is now the complimentary dessert.
You know, I was literally in the middle of making a point about how you need to buy boots early if you don't have your cooldowns, your summoners. Zyra didn't have flash. She has boots now and a completed Liandry's. But that extra blasting wand, not going to do much if you're getting ganked with no boots and you die. I don't know if boots would have saved her there, but it's a best practice. Buy your boots.
That's
unless
a nice
you Cassiopeia, then just level up a bunch.
Uh-oh. Kindred's a little bit caught out in the jungle. Already solo. Lamb's Respite does keep her alive, but it looks like that is only going to be for the time being. Nice Graves ultimate to secure the kill there, and the promising early start from the Kindred is getting stifled in a hurry.
That's very unfortunate. Did you see that Void Alive kind of forgot that his E doesn't go over walls? It would have been a fantastic play if it did. I don't know, maybe he planned a flash, but his flash is almost off cooldown. Like, I could totally see the merit of it, but at the same time, Lexar still in good shape. He's pretty farmed up, still has a 22 CS lead. Renekton is opposing his will upon this Galio and upon these lanes, but there's still a chance. Starstro just really has to start complementing those kills and that kill participation with farm. He needs to get Shen to a point where Shen can farm safely. They're in no rush to force anything. They're in no rush to do anything dumb. All they have to do is just give up this next dragon because they have no business contesting it, and then use the momentum and use their vision control in the bot side jungle to push slowly for that soul point. Because they still have 3 dragons before soul even comes up. So we're not at any danger of losing soul point. We're not in any danger of losing anything major. Just slow down, farm up, and fight another day when Renekton's a little less powerful.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the story of this game, right? Is this Renekton is going to run out of stamina, whereas almost all of the champions on the side of Ascension Gold are going to continue ascending. They're just going to get stronger and stronger. So yeah, you don't want to necessarily opt into these early fights. They do have vision. They might be thinking about trying to get this dragon, which I think is a bold strategy. Over the wall, and Solar Flare hits 3, so that was really solid. Great start to this fight. Blue team does get the dragon, but now Kindred is already so low. Gets their Q over the wall, and now Lexar might be a casualty, as it is Void Alive, who does drop Flash over the wall, giving them the quick feet there. But now Lexar needs to get out. They did get the dragon, but they lost 3, and they're about to lose a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know how worth that was. However, this is a good exception to everybody memeing about second Rift Herald. This siege would have been over normally, but this siege can still go on because second Rift Herald is looking real beefy right now.
They are going to crack that middle inhibitor tower. K-Mantic trying to get on Lexar, and the fight has restarted, but there are no cooldowns really left on either team. World Champ is going to drop, shut down, going over to the Kindred, which is exactly where you want it to go. And now the rest of the team for SE God Squad do need to run away. They are going to try to take the jungle before they leave, though.
Yeah, I mean, World Champ got caught with his pants down, but... You know, it's not too bad of a situation for that. Was a Leona flash.
Leona flashes the wall, and she's chasing
good solar flare, though.
Nice, yeah, solar flare does land, and Laughing Sky might be in a bit of trouble here as the Stand United is channeling. Manages to get away, though, with the ultimate and the ease. Lexar is a bit on the chase here. We'll see if they decide to grab anything on their way out. And
here comes the Maokai ultimate,
does hit, and the collapse is now coming through for the side of the God Squad. Rammus and Lexar are already dead, and now Divine is going to drop as well. This is disaster for Ascension Gold. Void alive can do nothing but sit there and get murdered. And now Starstro, the only man left alive, no Lamb's Respite, no nothing. And now that is a clean ace coming through for the God Squad with their eyes on the Baron.
And we see those Baron pings coming down. Pretty obvious play. 21-minute early inhibitor. It's kind of a bait sometimes, especially given the state of the map. They have 3 lanes with priority. All they have to do is grab this. They have the range advantage with the Ashe and Zyra. They could just 1-3-1. All they want, or 1-4 really. Maokai's teleport's not up. But there's just nobody on the side of Divine Ascension who can contest this Renekton right now. This is prime time for God Squad to show us how to execute and finish a game.
All right, we said earlier, about 2 minutes ago to be precise, that the side of Ascension Gold, they're cool, right? Everything's going well. It's not perfect, but it's not the end of the world. All right, turn on the emergency lights, red alert, because this game just got massively out of hand.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Ashe is in a relatively good spot. Looks like she's going for that Infinity Edge third item, which is going to do some fat damage to this team. The Shen sitting on just a Sunfire Kate, Ashe with the Bork. We have 2 Borks actually, and only realistically 1.5 targets who really only, or I guess 2. They're kind of beefy. Blue team's beefy. But they're just getting invaded on, and this is how you choke out a game. We just need to apply Baron to all 3 lanes equally, choke out this bot side jungle, and force Divine Ascension to make a bad play. A common bad play that we're going to see. See these 2 bot side inner turrets that are up?
Yep.
Either of these bot side inner turrets, a lot of teams get baited into thinking they could defend those against a Baron with a team that's ahead. If God Squad can force Divine Ascension to try to defend down one of those towers, they can get dove so easily and just die. If that's a clean ace, that's a clean game. And that's why you don't need the mid lane inhibitor, because if you get that clean ace with the Baron, that mid lane inhibitor doesn't matter. Game's just over anyways.
Baron minions pushing up towards said inhibitor. The 1-3-1 rather is now in full effect, and neither of the people contesting are really in a good spot to actually defend on any side, any front. I mean, the Leona Shin should be able to take care of the Graves, but you really need that Leona in these other sides of the map. Mountain Drake is about to spawn. The only bright side of this map, the only good thing going on is at least they are only on 1 dragon, but it was not worth it. And Galio goes in, he tries a little something, but doesn't get anything there.
Now let's see if Divine Ascension doesn't have the discipline to just stall. They are at no rush of getting... Oh, they're going to face check. Come on, guys.
Yeah, Lexar is the target. He called that man a drop of water because he just got evaporated.
That was a pretty straightforward play, really well executed. You can see that they've got this vision line, this what I call this trifecta. You've got the bush next to red buff, you got Drake going down, you've got the 2 brushes around red buff, and then you have both entrances to the second half, I guess, of your red side jungle. If those are warded, you have no business going in by yourself, and as Ezreal, you definitely have no business going in there. They were no risk of soul. So realistically, when you're this much of a deficit, when you're 12,000 gold down, that's a dragon you give up and you live to fight another day. But now they're getting snowballed on. This mid lane inhibitor is probably going to go down. It's just one swift breeze away, but the team fight's just going to happen here.
Oh, Ram is too good, is in a whole lot of trouble. Divine ease forward and gets popped. And now Void Alive is trying to keep them distracted on the backside of this fight. He's doing his job. They do manage to pick up World Champ, but that is it. And this looks to be the game as Starsbro is the only person left, and now he is gone. So that is them barreling up the mid lane. No super minion, none needed, as they are going to finish off this game.
And that's it. They executed exactly as we asked. Baron timer just ended. They used that Baron and ended the game. It's beautiful.
This was a very quick game, only 25 minutes and 30 seconds. Lexar in the jungle decided to put on his best Sven impersonation, and he paid the price for it. They got the second dragon, walked right back up to mid, pushed it to the finish. And the team fight didn't even look bad, but they just didn't have the stats to compete with them at that point in the game.
And that's exactly it. That's a real big bait that a lot of teams get into at pretty much every level of play, is thinking that every single dragon is important and contesting every single objective is the most important thing in the world. There are times when you can just take the L, you're up a dragon, it's just a mountain soul, and it's 3 dragons off. You can give that up, use that time to secure vision in the earlier parts of your bot side jungle, and hope for a mispositioning. But this is kind of what you talked about last game, where blue team, while they did have a lead and they were accentuating that lead, they would often get caught out in mispositioning and not playing a disciplined vision game in the mid to late game. They were kind of getting lazy and they'd get caught. And that was something that you cannot get away with doing against the God Squad, because these guys punish every single mispositioning or every positioning error that Divine made.
Yeah, Divine definitely a little bit past his safety points. I'm sorry. Divine Ascension Gold, rather, not Divine the top laner. Past the safety points that they had. When you get that far behind, it's, you gotta just turtle up and try to hold on to the game until you do get that scaling. And we know these guys, right? Like we saw them last game. They clearly know how to play with an advantage. Now the question is, do they know how to play when they're disadvantaged? Do they know how to play when they're behind? And that's something that I'm really interested to see as they continue growing as a team, if that's something they're able to clean up.
We'll have to find out. It's definitely, they definitely have their moments, especially game 1. They showed that when Void Alive and Starstro can double up and impact the side lanes, then great things happen. But Void Alive didn't have the greatest game. He barely finished one item. His build, he was pressured really heavily by this K-Mantic, by this Renekton counter pick. It's very powerful. I haven't seen the exact stats on it, but just due to the nature of their kits, I feel like Renekton does incredibly well into Galio. And it really showed. He can get priority. He has no resources to manage. He builds the Bork first and is able to just shred through most of Divine Ascension's team, and he's able to impact those side lanes incredibly well.
Yeah, and you know what was kind of wild about this game is actually the beginning parts of it looked, when you would expect them to be at their least powerful part of the game, Divine Ascension Gold looked pretty okay. It was actually one bad fight towards that bottom tower in the jungle of the red side, where everything fell apart, and the second the God Squad got an inch, they took a mile. I mean, they took the smallest advantage. I mean, yeah, it was a team fight win, and the dragon, they took that and they basically carried that advantage all the way to the finish of the game, and anything that Divine Ascension Gold attempted was completely foiled.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. They did have some moments where game 1, or no, sorry, the early game seemed a little bit shaky, I guess. Starstro was able to impact the river. They were able to get priority around their soul lands. Like, they did a lot of what they did in game 1, but they didn't maintain that. Starstro thought that he was a little bit more powerful than he was. He didn't realize that he had a losing bot lane. There were a couple times where he just got caught in the river with no bot lane prio, and Truz and Angelic Baby were able to just come in there and help Laughing Sky and K-Mantic outnumber everyone. And then I don't think that C9 World Champ gets enough credit for the amount of impact he had on the Maokai, but his teleports were on point that game.
Dominant performance coming through for the God Squad. Divine Ascension Gold does end, or they do end after their second game with a 1-1 record, but it's not over for them yet. They still have one last game to play today against Glacial Storm. So we're going to see if after this game 2 loss, they're able to come through in game 3 and pick it back up. But for the meantime, it is going to be myself and Dory K going to a brief intermission while we do get this next game prepared. So everybody prepare yourself for a very intense game 3, because Divine Ascension Gold, you can be assured that they are going to be going for blood in this final game.
The era of metal has begun, and metal shall prevail. For we know what they have done. 5 legends of our realm who sought to follow the path of their dark musings. But they did not know what they had summoned. Pentakill. To these creatures, there is but one thing left to do. Heavy metal.
Oh, I don't have to wait. I don't have the spec link. All right, welcome everybody to the final game of the day. It is Divine Ascension Gold coming back, no mercy against Glacial Storm. And Glacial Storm is actually a very new team that has just come together, so I'm really excited to see how they do against Divine Ascension Gold.
Yeah, we've got the Olaf band coming out first, as well as Caitlyn and Akali Hover. There goes the Akali band. So Divine Ascension been on blue side all 3 games. Just so you know, we've been here all 3 games too. This is Juicebox Guy doing play-by-play. My name is Dory K, and I'm going to be your not monotone color caster. We've got the Maokai and Hecarim band coming down. Glacial must have seen game 1 because that Hecarim was a monster.
Yeah, and again, Starstro goes to that pick whenever he's in doubt. Hecarim and Starstro, in my mind, at least for this competition, they're synonymous because on that champion, he can really shine. So far, we haven't really seen how he looks off of that champion, and off of the last game on the Kindred, that it was a promising start, but outside of some early fireworks, didn't really work out for him. Now, it is going to be that Ashe picked up immediately, and Senna looks like it will be the answer.
They learned their lesson. The Caitlyn first ban is definitely a bait to take the Ashe, so I'm hoping that Glacial has a plan. It looks like the Senna hover is there. The Senna is going to offer a similar amount of utility as well as that global pressure from her ultimate, and then Thresh is a pretty cool combination with Senna I've seen lately, where you're not so much try to get 2v2 kills because your DPS ends at your initial round of burst, but you set up so well for the rest of your team, and Thresh offers a ton of lane pressure, especially into melee matchups. Personally, I might have saved Thresh for a little bit further down the draft, because you have the risk of a Morgana, you have the risk of another champion that kind of stops Thresh from doing what they do, but you see the Leona lock in 3 games in a row. I think they had that in mind, and these guys are trying to prove that while Dawnbreak Gaming couldn't execute on the Thresh versus Leona matchup, that Glacial definitely can.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. That Leona seems tried and true for them. And Leona Ashe, I mean, don't get me wrong, Senna Thresh is a dangerous duo, but Leona Ashe is no joke either. They will CC lock you to the end of the world and back. Now, it was actually the Graves as the pickup in the jungle. So Starstro is going to try his damnedest to make this work. Last game, like we said, started off really strong early, and then as the game progressed, it fell apart a little bit. Graves, we'll see if that's a little bit more in his wheelhouse, and he's able to take early game success into having a really big impact later on in the game. Echo was actually the pickup as well. That can be flexed between the jungle and the mid lane. I don't expect to see it in the jungle, but it always could happen. Now it does actually look like the side of Divine Ascension Gold does think it is in the jungle, because they are now banning out mid laners. So Galio Fiora for the side of Glacial Storm, and Diana Syndra for the side of Divine Ascension Gold.
Yeah, what's great about the mid lane meta is that Echo's matchups have gotten a lot better. Echo was a premier jungler for most of the last season, but with these mid lane control mages becoming more prominent, that's just feasting grounds for Echo. So at this point, they've got a double flex here. So they've got their last pick, they have counter pick, they have a set and an Echo, and both of them can flex to jungle, both of them can flex to solo lanes. So at this point, just Divine Ascension is just like, well, I guess we just have to take stuff that I guess is good into set and Echo and hope for the best, because Graves is a very powerful jungler. Neither Echo nor Set are going to be able to contest Graves's push, so they're going to probably look to just take some power here. So the Mordekaiser into the Set, you're looking at winning those sustained fights with Conquer, you're looking at a very powerful passive as well as that W. Pretty much a favorable matchup, especially once you have that level 6, you can cut them down, and you have the Vel'Koz lock in. Looks like a comfort pick here. It's going to be far enough range that it likely works out very similarly to the Zed matchup from game one, but at the same time, Echo's a little bit more versatile, and I think you're on the right track thinking that it's probably going to be a jungle Echo. I'm anticipating a mid lane pick here.
Last pick to go, 16 seconds on the clock. What are Glacial Storm going to bring to the table? Now, Vel'Koz did get banned out in the last game. This time it does get through, and they pick it up as their last pick. Echo is a dangerous person to deal with, but they actually go with the Casa win in the jungle. The old level 16 in the game's over.
Yeah, this composition from the side of Divine Ascension has potential to punish the Kassadin in early game. It definitely does. But as soon as Kassadin hits level 6, he's going to be too squirrely for the Graves and Vel'Koz to hold down. So realistically, Echo needs to look to just kind of path opposite of the Graves and the Vel'Koz, try not to have the map influence too heavily, and then look to gank those side lanes, look to use the Senna Thresh as setup, look to use the Set as setup, and then re-gank on those cooldowns. Get a flash, come back. Get a flash, come back. If this Echo can get those side lanes rolling, then that Kassadin is going to have the wiggle room to scale the way that we want him to scale. But if they can't impact any other lane, then Kassadin's going to have a ton of pressure beating down on him.
Yeah, I really do like what I'm seeing from the Glacial Storm team here. They have really, really, really good late game options where if you get late enough in the game, what is Ashe ever going to do to survive against a Kassadin? What's Graves ever going to do? Or Vel'Koz? I mean, sure, like if they can pick him off somewhere, but he, like you said, he's a squirrely boy. He'll get right out of that. And if he decides to go out of that into you, you get popped like a proverbial balloon. So you definitely do not want to let this get to the late game. And then if you want to punish early, it's not like they don't have okay early game options. Echo still does damage early on. Set will still beat the tar out of you early on. And Thresh is just good at any point in the game. So I think that Glacial Storm have got a very, very good composition for themselves. And if Divine Ascension can't get this win early, they're not going to get it, period.
I wholeheartedly agree. I believe Divine's team has the tools to win out on the early game, but if they can't accentuate that lead and threaten the dragon stacking, and threaten a powerful dragon for dragon stacking, then this Kassadin is just going to have a heyday.
And like you said, they have the tools to do that, right? Like with the Graves, they have the smoke screen, they got the solar flare, the enchanted arrow. If old Echo runs in to try to steal the dragon, he's going to the shadow realm. There are a lot of good options to secure those dragons. So it's really gonna be absolutely important for them that they don't get beaten early. Because if they get beaten early, it's a tiny little snowball at the top of the hill right now for Glacial Storm. And no pun intended, but as that snowball rolls down the hill, the Glacial Storm is really gonna come to life here. And yeah, that's a potential run over Yukon.
Absolutely. I want to take a look again at this mid jungle duo. Void Alive is back on something that presumably he's comfortable on, and it has the range advantage and the power to keep this Kassadin from doing anything early game. Take a look at these early river skirmishes, and if Divine Ascension can run over, it's going to be a repeat of game one. Otherwise, look to see that scaling, and just keep your fingers crossed. This time, the win condition is in the clock. Wherever the point of the clock hits, by the end of the game is going to be how the game goes.
You know, something else that I do really have my eyes on this game is that Mordekaiser. Divine has gone to the Shin both games, looked amazing in game one, looked good in game two. I mean, it didn't look bad. Like, he was kind of, he got the old, you know, my team fell so far behind and now they're coming for me sort of deal. So I think that Shin is a really good pick for him, but this time they opt for the Mordekaiser to go to Divine, and I'm really curious to see how is he going to perform on this pick as opposed to that Shin. Not quite as much global dominance, right? So we're really going to have to see if he could perform here with this Mordekaiser.
Yeah, I'll definitely get into how this lane matchup goes as they kind of exemplify it. But long story short, it's two juggernauts against each other. It's going to be all about that wave manipulation.
All right, final game of the day. Divine Ascension Gold sitting 1-1 at the moment, hoping for the 2-1, praying it ain't a 1-2. Are they gonna go and tell Glacial Storm, welcome to the league, here's your loss? Or is Glacial Storm going to bring their reckoning? Stick around and find out after this brief broadcast delay. Welcome, everybody. Divine Ascension Gold has been on the Rift 2 times today. They are here for the 3rd time. This time, Glacial Storm is the adversary. I am so excited to see, can they pull this victory off?
Graves, that is way too many books to be carrying around Summoner's Rift, my dude. Oh, they're gone. Okay. Anyways, 5 point. Nobody really has a very good invade, so pretty simple 5 point going on here. We're not going to see any kind of vision shenanigans. It looks like everybody's just going to respect the send. They're just going to go for that typical 5 point. So right before the break, something I want to talk about before the random fights happen is top lane. So I kind of talked about how this top lane matchup goes. If I were the set, I would say Doran's Blade or Doran's Shield is totally fine. Either way, he's going to be able to sustain in lane. His passive, giving him the double up, is going to give him the good sustain from the Doran's Blade. Doran's Shield would be fine if if he believes he's going to lose. But like I said, it's very dependent on lane positioning and lane priority. So if the set is able to get a pushing lane, he's going to be able to abuse the lane. And if Mordekaiser is able to get a pushing lane, it's going to be great. This little thing about Mordekaiser, though, his Q is his main wave clear. His Q is his main harass tool. So if Set can position to the side of the wave, Mordekaiser has to choose, right? And then Set can play around that cooldown. So top lane, this is a very, I guess we'll go with dynamic or volatile matchup. And I think it can go either way.
Yeah, top lane is going to be instrumental for success for Divine Ascension Gold. And making those decisions, right? Do you punish positioning or do you clear waves is always one of the hardest things that any player really has to decide. But speaking of hard things, it is actually a massive trade in First Blood already going over to the set. And speaking of what Mordekaiser doesn't want to do, you got it right there.
Yeah, Mordekaiser doesn't want to trade inside of big waves, and he has to choose. Mordekaiser chose to hit the set with the Q and not maximize DPS on the wave. A bunch of the minions were alive, so he took a ton of wave damage.
Oh, nice play there, but Rammus does go in anyway. He's so low, though. That is going to make him think twice before taking an engage like that again.
Cringe Baby showing the team game one, Dawnbreak, exactly how to play the matchup, and Drowning Fish getting the better of Divine so far. But you have the Graves coming up. Let's see what happens.
Top lane gank. Drowning Fish is very low. Does have that flash up. Has the minion wave to help him stay safe from the Graves. And it looks like he is going to go down. Void roams all the way up, though. And you do not want to leave F-Zero on this Kassadin by himself.
Yeah, Kassadin. This is actually okay for Void. He's not going to lose anything. And IB0 might get zoned out here if he's not careful, because Void is able to harass really hard here. But the silence comes down, so he's not able to kind of flex the wave clear here, and he's actually going to miss some minions under tower. Fun story. Vel'Koz is really hard to CS with under turret, but he's getting ganked.
Is a fun story, but Omega Legends is here. Strastro is trying to help, but Void Alive might just go down. Has the barrier, but M0 picks up the kill. That is disaster, and he blocks the auto attack. He is blocking auto attacks on the freaking Echo, blocking up 2, I believe, and that is the 2-for-0. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, there's also a fight going on. Ram is too good, trying to get away. Lexar and Looney Oyster trading blows here, rooted up for Lexar, but he's still got enough health. He'll be just fine.
Whew, this Thresh is pretty clean. It's only a 3 CS lead, but everything this Thresh is doing is just creating so much room for Looney Oyster, and Rammus is too good, just has no options in this lane. He has to back.
Oh, Divine is not having a good time here. That is big punishment after big punishment, and he's really feeling them. Meanwhile, Ram is too good. Also feeling a lot of pressure coming out from the Glacial Storm team. Echo has arrived. He's looking for Lexar, but goes for Rammus instead. Can he get to the Lantern? He does. He will be okay. Looney Oyster a little bit too far up, but it doesn't matter because the numbers advantage is on the side of Glacial Storm.
Such a good play. Omega Legends is this like soft-spoken hero here.
Void Alive came, and Glacial Storm got out of dodge.
Omega Legend just made 2 fantastic plays happen right in the face of Starstro. Starstro was just too slow to the play, and the faster jungler got the advantage.
And looking towards the mid lane too, 2-0, 10 CS up already for the Kassadin. He is, I mean, he's got a long way to go until he hits 16, but it's probably not as long as Divine Ascension Gold would like. I need them to really clean up their play and stop taking these really bad trades, but that one's looking pretty solid. Probably the first good trade I saw go the way of the Mordekaiser right there.
And that's all thanks to our friend the turret, but Starstro visual bug is now here for the gank.
Here, there is 6 on to Drowning Fish, and he does have a lot of damage down, but not really a lot of ways to outplay that one. Kill is going over towards Graves. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, no 6 yet on Void alive. However, he does have a level 4 Leona to keep him bailed out for the time being.
He's playing around these Qs so well. There's a little dodging pattern. I wish I had the pen they had in the LCS, but there's this little dodging pattern you can do with Kassadin. I don't see anything happening here.
Yeah.
The Kassadin is doing this really good dodging pattern that's specific to Vel'Koz and Diana a little bit. You can actually kind of do like a minor counterclockwise turn at the skill shot, and it makes it so that it doesn't actually hit. And that's kind of the case with all the geometry skill shots.
Yeah, we're gonna spare the audience from any trigonometry jokes this time around for Void Alive.
Oh no!
But you hear so many of them every time the champion is up. Now, the good news for Void Alive, he does have 6 now, so Kassadin at least has to respect that. The bad news, you have no mana and you don't have a ton of health either, so you really got to be careful into this Kassadin matchup at the moment. Who he is pretty strong for only being 7 minutes and 20 seconds into the game.
Oh yeah, Vel'Koz's window to punish this matchup is pretty much over already. Kassadin already sitting on the Catalyst of Aeons, as well as hitting level 6 first with a 15 CS lead in a matchup that you are supposed to lose pre-6 is just... It's a tough matchup. They have to look for advantages somewhere else, and Vel'Koz just has to spam that wave. Let's see what Vel'Koz is actually maxing here. It looks like he's maxing the W, which is good. You're going to get all that wave clear from the W. Realistically, Vel'Koz just wants to wave clear and make something happen in the river every couple minutes.
Yeah, Vel'Koz is having a rough go of it for the time being. Drowning Fish actually goes into the Shadow Realm. I think that was more just to keep himself alive. Didn't have a jungler nearby to help him. And Echo's on the top side. Whereas Graves is actually just trying to farm up the enemy jungler, but there was a hook on the bottom side. And nice Crystal Arrow. The cleanse does come through. Exhaust is on, but Cringe Baby might be in a bit of trouble. Heal here does force out the heal, and that is 4 summoners down for the side of Glacial Storm.
Yeah, Looney, a little thing you can do with bot lane is even when you're running away, make sure you kite. Play around your auto attack timer. It's a cooldown just like one of your spells. Make sure you're auto attacking consistently, especially if Leona misses the flash Zenith blade. And Thresh actually landing these hooks for days.
Lands the hook again. Rammus is too good. Has been under 25% health for the majority of this laning phase so far.
But look at this. They're baiting with their face so well. It was all a bait, so the Graves could get the early Inferno Drake. And while Ocean is probably objectively the best early game Drake to get, Infernal doesn't hurt, especially if it's dirt free.
You know, Infernal Dragon, it gives you the 4% on AP and AD, and that's not enough to where, you know, if you didn't know what was going on, you would notice it. Well, hold on, let's actually see what happens here. Drowning Fish is really low, but both of these players are, and nice flash to avoid the tower. Oh my god, the grab comes true, and the Senna ultimate came way too late. Beautifully done by Divine.
Fantastically well played. Both that flash right at the last tick of being immobile from the set ultimate is pretty hard tech to get because you can't just spam your flash button. There's a timer between each click.
Alright, Starstro is here. F-Zero might be in over his head. The flash to follow, but he's got ultis, he's got flashes, plenty of ways out right now. Does force the flash out, but he's still got the, the old R button to keep himself safe.
Yeah, this top lane is about as exciting as I was hoping it would be. It's so back and forth. Now, the Mordekaiser is down a bit of CS, but he has more impact on the map, and Omega Legend coming in.
Yeah, Void Alive taken very low. Starstro actually follows suit there. Crystal Arrow waves as it flies on by. Divine did teleport, and that's a big cooldown that was used there.
Yeah, Divine really protecting his team here. It helps secure priority with no real objectives coming up anytime soon.
Void Alive. Oh my goodness. He had Divine on the upper side. Thought he was safe. But because of that false sense of security, Echo picks up the easiest kill of his career.
He's dead faster than I can even talk about how he's going to die.
It happens. It'd be like that.
Honestly, man, it's looking really good again. The story of tonight has just been mid-jungle duos, right?
Right. Omega Legends actually coming down, and now we're going to get a little bit of the boss side action. Lexar, it's certainly going to drop here, has no health left. Looney Oyster picks up the kill, and now Rammus is too good, is going to the fountain, too bad.
Oh my goodness. And now Lisette suddenly losing. Why is that? Because Mordekaiser built correctly. I love Mordekaisers that forego the greed. Don't get the AP. All you have to do is get Tabby Bramble, and your passive does the work for you. And then Set can't kill you.
All right, Void Alive playing games with Omega Legends. Does have the ultimate, doesn't use it because Echo does have a little reset button of his own. And this is one plate left on the bottom side. This might be first tower. I don't imagine it's going to go down because it's so tanky right now. But that is a lot of pressure that was just lost on the bottom side of the map. Ulti does come out. It does hit Cringe Baby. We're going to see if this results in anything. Void Alive, though, stunned up by the Echo. He hadn't left yet, and they should have known that. They commit too far. Now Lexar, very, very low. Echo has the ultimate to keep himself alive. Looney Oyster is the one who picks up the kill, and Hook lands on Rammus. Too good. They just got back to lane, and they're leaving immediately. And that is first tower.
Fantastic CC layering. Such a well-executed dive. That is something you don't see often enough in our ELO, and I love it.
Yeah, these guys clearly know how to work with one another, and if this is one of their first times playing together, it is not showing here. They are having a great game. As Starstro, that is not your jungle anymore, my friend. You are in big trouble, and Omega Legends moves up to 6-0, only 13 minutes in the game. Uh-oh, Hook lands. I don't think they want it, though. They're so low. Solar Flare hits one, but it doesn't result in anything.
And this feels a little bit like the solo queue special. There are scaling options for both teams, but Kassadin big. Kassadin real big. And it's only 13 minutes in. Echo real big. And he's sitting on that Dark Harvest. How many stacks does this man's have? I can't click on him. Oh no. How many stacks of Dark Harvest does he have? There we go. 9 whole stacks of Dark Harvest. Not bad.
Yeah, not
Especially
too
for 13
shabby.
minutes in.
Yeah, you take those. Beating Graves out on CS by a mile and by kills and assists by 8. So that is, if that doesn't tell you how bad this situation is, nothing will. If Zero might be caught out, but I think he's going to be okay.
If Zero,
here.
don't go for it.
The hook lands, and you don't have 16 yet, friend. You can't take the 1v3. He ults over the wall, but he's in the Shadow Realm, and now there's no way to get to him. Oh, nice job getting out of the way of the CC there. Omega Legends goes on Void Alive in the background. Barrier pop immediately. He does have the ultimate. It doesn't do enough for him, though, as he's still in the middle of a lot of trouble. Big shutdown going down onto the Ashe, and now Glacial Storm is in a really scary spot. They are trying to get away, and the smoke does land. It slows them a little bit. Looney Oyster gets pulled in, and they are diving under the tower, but the hook gets one.
Wait, they're overextending. Here comes the
Fish has arrived. The Solar Flare does stun him up, but it's not enough. Rem is too good, is already down. He does manage to flash out the Haymaker for Divine, and it results in being a 2 for 3.
What's going to happen here? Kassadin still has about half mana. Void Alive looking to go over the wall, but he can't do anything here. That was a team fight. That was exactly what Divine Ascension needs. If we can say anything about them tonight, it's that they're fighters. They always look for the fight.
I love a good scrappy team, and that is exactly what they are, but sometimes the scrapping goes just a little bit too far. And there's your Dr. Seuss impression for the night.
And let's talk for a second. I can't open the chat. Who got the shutdown there onto Echo? But
Ashe.
Oh!
Yeah,
fantastic.
That's exactly where you want that.
Ashe going back, probably going to be sitting on an Essence Reaver here. Yep, Essence Reaver boot, got a little bit of attack speed, maybe going for the Hurricane here. Looking real big and caught up. The Senna still looking pretty good, still looking at, 7,000 gold lead? 6,000 gold lead? Yeah, 6,000 gold lead. 6,600, Corey. 600.
I was like, do you mean for the game?
Yep. That is a 6,000 gold lead, yeah, actually, But, the real story here is Kassadin's 2,000 gold lead. That one is the real number.
Yeah,
Kassadin
that one kind of hurts.
Yeah, he's got 2 levels. He just hit level 11. This man's is huge.
Oh, he is playing with fire right now, getting CC locked entirely, and the shutdown onto the Graves. You saw 3 people there, and your teammates had not arrived. That was way too committed.
I need to stop complimenting people tonight. It seems like every time I do it, somebody dies.
Yeah, you know what? That is the way of the gold. Now, good job canceling the teleport. Very cheeky coming through for the drowning fish. However, blue team does get the dragon regardless. Ram is too good, fighting 1v1 against the Echo. Massive damage on the Echo. Cringe Baby goes down, and now the top lane has a scrap as well. Rammus is too good. Dropped to Omega Legends, and he's looking for Starstro as well. He is not gonna get him. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the fight does continue, scrapping very desperately to try to get an impact there. But blue team got the dragon and the fight.
Yeah, blue team really pulling it back, but they need to start taking towers. This is kind of what happened last game, is they stalled out in the mid game because they weren't able to take towers.
Oh, it has begun. Ibzero going in hot, picking up kills. He is got a double kill. He is about to get the triple kill. And I think Kassadin is 4 levels behind where he needs to be, but he is right where he wants to be.
Imagine only being at 300 tier stacks and doing that much damage. This Kassadin is a monster. I don't know what to do. There's no point and click CC. You basically have to hope that Solar Flare is point and click, because we did just see a play that stopped him. So we have to look for this Kassadin to make misplays like he did earlier. Otherwise, I don't know. Dude's huge.
Yeah, we figured around the 25-minute mark would be where things started to get frisky. It turned out we should have knocked 8 minutes off of that, because we are 17 minutes in, or at the 17-minute mark is when it started looking really bad. Nice play coming through from Cringe Baby, but he does have the Solar Flare to follow up. A lot of damage is going down onto Starstro, but it's not going to matter.
Take a look at this Echo.
Rammus gets the kill there. Echo is going in, and he has so much damage. Kills Lexar immediately. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Divine is already dead, and that is a double kill now for Omega Legends. He is going to walk up, get the triple kill, and ulti away.
He did that entire thing without having ult until the end. Like, at no point was he under any threat. The Echo and Kassadin, I don't know. Divine Ascension just doesn't seem like they drafted the tools to deal with the Echo or the Kassadin. Just so much mobility, so much lockdown, so much dive potential on 2 immobile carries. It's just, there's not enough peel in the world.
Void alive, running for his life. All you can really do is hide. Sorry, Drowning Fish, you cannot jump over the wall. So
Run, fish!
He's running around. He's a fish in a barrel right now, but the ulti does come in, and he actually gets the kill. The bait was too bad right there. Looney Oyster grabs Void alive to make him Void dead. The Lantern to try to save him, it does not work, and Echo is there for moral support.
Oh, this is looking reminiscent of Game 1. They're ahead, but they're not that far ahead. Take it easy, guys. You don't want to get yourselves caught like that.
They're 10,000 gold ahead. If that's not far ahead, then
apparently they're not. Okay, so they're not far enough ahead to bypass inner tower to dive under inhib tower. 3v4.
All right, I'll give you that. They can't 1v1 a tower yet.
No, absolutely not. But they are still in firm control of the game. Jokes aside. We're looking at this Kassadin. I'm personally a little surprised that with his teleport coming back up, he's not just getting out into a side lane. But then these hooks are magnets.
Boy. Yeah, hook, land, Starstro might be dead here, but the Solar Flare is huge. It gets 2, and Senna ulti does not quite do enough damage as Zero is trying to get away, but another big shutdown going on to the Ashe, exactly what the doctor ordered.
Cringe Baby, you're baiting your team.
Alright, and Echo is not done yet. Lexar certainly going down here. Echo picks up another one. The flash completely wasted as Echo has one of his own built into his kit. Now Divine does have Omega in his Shadow Realm, but Omega has the ultimate. He did not get to his W, so he does not stay alive, but Divine still going to drop. Drowning Fish face tanking the ultimate, and it actually is the shutdown going over to the Vel'Koz. Now Drowning Fish not done yet though. Ultim under the tower, and I think he went full dummy mode on that one.
Whew. That 10,000 gold lead is an 8,000 gold lead now. We need to shore up and execute. It's not like, well, we're not too worried, right? Like, we do have a scaling advantage. Cassidon's still 3 levels off of hitting, like, raid boss status. The dude's got a void staff. He's just waiting to finish stacking that tier, and he's at 680 out of 750. But what I'm looking to see, if they don't want to throw this lead, if they want to continue to scale and execute properly, Cassidon needs to pull pressure to a side lane. He can't keep going mid lane.
Uh-oh. All right, Starstro wandering in the middle of the Black Beyond, and now he pays the price. 2 ultimates have been missed. It does not matter. Now Rammus is too good, trying to apply the pressure.
Ash ult.
Good Ash arrow, but we'll see if it is enough. Cassidon trying to run away here. He has not gotten out yet. He may be safe at this moment. Big hook onto the Mordekaiser to get that kill. Now Rammus is too good. Is in a lot of trouble. He goes in on the Cassidon trying to do something with his life before he drops. Now it is an easy kill picked up onto the Vel'Koz. Flash forward to get the hook and the clean ace there. Everybody dead and in the gray screen for Divine Ascension Gold.
And that's it. All they do is just group up, stop screwing around, take the fight. Echo and Cassidon way too strong. And the Senna, I'm not talking about Senna enough. Her build's awesome. I love the rapid fire cannon plus Muramana build going on here. It's almost stacked up all the way, 660 out of 750. We've got 2 tier building champions that haven't even finished the tier at 22 minutes. And as soon as they do, kaboom.
All right, the teleport's channeling. That's going to keep Starstro safe. Now, Cringe Baby and Loon Oyster are trying to get away here. The ultimate just to pepper them a little bit with damage. It is not enough to put them in any real threat here. And it looks like the reset has come through. Okay.
This is El Clasico. The back and forth. We're going for 80 kills, boys. They're fighting constantly. Like, who needs to farm when you can just fight? Jokes aside, it's looking to keep going in favor of Glacial. Because the longer this game goes, the more silly this game gets, the stronger Cassidon gets, the stronger Senna gets. Senna's just about done with a Last Whisper item. It's going to be huge. We don't see a Black Cleaver on anyone except Set, so Set's going to be applying our Black Cleaver stacks, reducing that armor. But you've got the Vel'Koz only sitting on 2 items. Like, Vel'Koz will scale. Vel'Koz just has to not get caught out. A lot of it is on positioning errors from their long-range characters. But I'm going to give you a second because it looks like yet another team fight's about to break out.
Omega Legends trying to find something here. Cringe Baby and Mordekaiser both hitting their hooks, and now it is Cringe Baby who is in a very scary spot. He's in the Shadow Realm, but Divine does not walk forward, and it might be the kill here. The ultimate to keep him alive picks up the Leona on the way out. Hook landed on Divine, but they are standing in the middle of a Vel'Koz ultimate. The rest of the reinforcements has arrived, and now it's a triple kill coming through for the side of Glacial Storm and a bot inhibitor tower. They opted for the numbers disadvantage fight. They lost it, and they did not answer the split push.
Whew. Yeah, that's a 3 for 2 in a 4v5 fight, and the second strongest character on the team didn't even have to participate. This is looking real gloom and doom for Divine Ascension here.
Divine Ascension trying desperately, grasping for straws, doing anything they can to get back into this game. But you have a 13,000 gold lead. 1 inhibitor down, 1 inhibitor exposed, trying to get the Drowning Fish. They might have him, but the Cassidon has joined the game, and now all of these squishy members are getting popped. Oh my god, massive damage onto Divine, and now he is just cleaning up everybody. Starstro, you better be careful because you will get popped in a second, and he is gonna die. A quadra kill to his name.
Where's my penta? Cassidon not getting the pentakill, but it doesn't even matter. This game is over. Cassidon really popping off. Didn't even have to hit level 16. Didn't even have to use TP. The soul laners are in position to take another fight, even if they need one. But with 5 seconds left on the Ashe and 5 seconds left on the Leona, let's see if we can actually end this game. We do have quite a lot of tower damage still to go. We have Omega Legend not having
1
the,
chip
mana
left. The fight's broken out. Good flash, but oh my goodness. Oh, he's just absolutely gone. Now the teleport is channeling. Looney Oyster does drop, but guess who's here? Set has arrived. He's doing his best to do damage in this fight. Cringe Baby in the middle of a bunch of enemies. No more mana left on Omega Legends, so he's going to have to get away. And now the kills are coming through.
Take a look at the TP coming in.
For Divine Ascension. But guess whose turret just went down on the top side?
This is crazy. We still have a lot of game to play, apparently. The end was probably not going to be coming down. I would have anticipated they left or maybe just got in the tower and bailed, but
that was three autos.
That's no Nexus turrets left. It's 3 inhibitors down. It's looking real bad for Divine Ascension. The longer this game goes on, the worse it gets for him. IB0 hasn't even hit level 16, but does have the tier completed, has the Lich Bane completed. This man's is huge.
There's nothing else to say. I mean, he is just a monster.
And then the solar flare goes down and just doesn't even matter.
If you wanted more bad news, he has the no cooldown ultimate ready to go. It is 16. He's ready to party. And now the question is, do we get the Baron so we get to watch Divine Ascension Gold play a little Nexus defense? Or is it just going to be the walk down the mid lane to get the fight? Starstro already so low, and all that happened is he took the first half of a Q. And I think he took... Yeah, I think it was just honestly the Q damage that went through right there.
Oh, no.
Lexar cut out. He did so much work. Already used the jump forward, but he has another one ready to go. Completely gone from the map. Ulti to get out. Rammus is too good. Is like, where did my AD carry go? I swear to God, she was right here.
Yeah. Honestly, I wanted to watch Bloons Tower Defense, but I got League of Legends today.
Yeah, unfortunately. You can't win them all, and right now Divine Ascension isn't going to win this one. The rest of their team just wiped off the map, and Starstro chilling in the base, watching as his Nexus crumbles. It is only super minions wailing on
what's happening?
Oh, the flash forward, it doesn't let. They are going full dummy mode, but it doesn't really matter because the Nexus is about to drop. Kassadin gets the kill. Huge shutdown coming through for the Graves.
And that's a 22 kill game for the Echo.
Good lord. Yo, when you have a Kassadin in the game, you're already kind of, a little nervous. When you throw a 22 kill Echo on top of it, what do you even do?
Do you want the real answer or a hopeful answer?
Let's hear the hopeful one. Give me something here.
All right, the hopeful answer is you bring your CC and layer it on one of the targets utilizing proper vision control. So you try to, basically the turtle method is you isolate one of your quadrants in the jungle and you look for somebody to be caught out. And they kind of showed that it would happen. Like Glacial Storm did have the occasional, like, we're goofing around in the jungle moment. We're so far ahead, who cares moment. Divine Ascension had opportunities to take those picks and use them. They did have a couple one team fights. They just had to accelerate the game a little bit more when they got those opportunities. But between the bot lane, this jungle, this mid, like the fact that Drowning Fish didn't even have that great of a game didn't even matter.
Yeah, I mean, who really cares, right? He didn't even build tank set when he was running behind. He's like, I'll still go damage. Who really cares here? And
he's about to get a second lifesteal item.
Yeah. Going all in on it, but huge shout out to Glacial Storm. Absolutely great game right there. Obviously, I'm gonna go ahead and assume some of the mistakes they made were them just messing around and not actually, playing with their game faces on. But other than just a few silly, goofy errors, that was a clinic that they put on right there. And Divine Ascension Gold just got completely run over.
Yeah, but it was an exciting week of games. Like, these 3 games were really fun to cast. While this last game was a stomp, there were moments where Divine Ascension fought back, and I really love that these teams are scrapping, that they're fighting, that they're they're not giving up and rolling over. They're willing to fight until that Nexus explodes, and that's what I like to see in competitive League of Legends.
Absolutely. I mean, you never know. Even if it's 1% of an opportunity to come back and win the game, you have to go for it because you do not want to miss out on those opportunities. And Divine Ascension Gold really showed a lot of heart. They gave it all they had to try to come away with these victories in losing scenarios, and it just wasn't enough today. They did pick up a win, however, in the first game, so they end their day at 1-2. That is not anything to be too embarrassed about, or even remotely embarrassed about. One win against competitive teams is good. And the teams they lost against looked like well-oiled machines. Both Glacial Storm and SC God Squad. Both of these squads looked phenomenal tonight.
I absolutely wholeheartedly agree. It was a great night, and I think we just have a few things to say before we get going.
Yeah, so big shout out to Excellency Esports. This was the light testing grounds. I was your play-by-play for the day. My name is Juicebox Guy, and joining me, adding in just a little bit of that flavorful color, was Dory K, giving the insight.
Yes, sir. As we wrap up tonight's broadcast, we just have a couple of quick thank yous to pass around. First off, we want to thank our incredible sponsor, Veta, our patrons, Zach, Max, and Allison, and Ricky, our Twitch subs, and all of our regular supporters. We absolutely can't bring this level of quality to our events and broadcasts without your support. We also want to send a huge thank you to the viewers, everyone who showed up tonight, for choosing us to be your entertainment today and tonight. Be sure to tune in next time, because I get nervous as hell every time, and your support really helps. Tomorrow, Excellency, Mid-League Week 3. As always, stay excellent, and we'll see you next time.